of Kendall, Florida. It's Pass the Mic Podcast. Solutions for real-world problems with real-world people. And of course, those crazy people too. And now, your host, Eddie G.
Welcome to Pass the Mic Podcast. I hope you guys are ready to have an amazing day with us. My name is Eddie G, and of course, we have the one, the only, the craziest of all crazies, the director of the crazies, Miss Sandy, behind the scenes, making all the magic happen for you guys. What's up to everybody? Welcome to another edition of Pass the Mic Podcast, where we bring real-world problems and find real-world solutions. And today, we have somebody who can give you the solution to all of your belly aches. And he is in the building giving us some really good things. I know we've talked about it on the show before. When we had the Roots Miami in here, we talked about it then. We talked about it with Richie Rich. They had never had, well, Richie had tropical smoothie, but Brainiac had never had the tropical smoothie. So we put him on to tropical smoothie, and he's really happy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brad in the building. Brad, is that Shellen? Shellen, like he's
Thanks,
shelling
Eddie.
out all of these tropical smoothies.
Better to be shelling out than shelling in.
That's right. Welcome, brother. Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you. I really appreciate the smoothies and the food. So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's give me a little bit about your history, how you got started in the industry, the restaurant industry. Can you give us a little bit of a background history about yourself as well?
I'd be glad to.
Awesome.
First of all, I'm not from here, but I've been here a long time in Miami. I'm a Midwestern boy.
Okay.
Grew up, raised in the boring, agricultural farm country. Good opportunity to get some good roots, so I tell you.
Where though? Where?
Indiana.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So I lived there for a long time, 19 years or so. I got to here to Florida in the early 80s. What a different place here in Miami. I first went to Vero Beach, lived up there for a little bit. I have a brother up there. We were in a business together for a short while. Anyway, I got to Miami, met my wife about 3 months after I'd been here. She's a Peruvian.
Okay.
So yo aprendo español muy rápido. To this day, I'm still learning. Thank God
It's a
am
long
too.
process.
It is a long, fruitful process.
I bet you know
may
all
say.
the bad words by now, though.
Well, you learn those really important words early, like
Café.
so and so, baboso.
Oh.
If you're married, you know what I'm talking about.
There you go.
So anyway, shortly after I met her, we fell in love and, decided that we were going to get married and we lived together as a couple for quite a while
Okay.
and had a son. And he's now 26, almost 27 years old. So it's been a little while. So that gives you kind of like the idea of how long I've been here. I had a long career in sales. I used to work for a company that grows orchids. It was a very interesting job. I really enjoyed it a lot. It was a very interesting industry. I still love orchids. They're one of my favorite pastimes is raising and growing orchids.
Okay.
So anyway, I did that for like about 25 years, close to that. And so, we're kind of like in a time right now with this pandemic of a place where everybody's doing everything differently, right?
Right.
Well, harken back to 2008. That was the time we had to do something different. My wife and myself both are industries. She was in the airline industry. She worked
Right.
for American Airlines for a number of years. And my job, relying on sales, it just fell apart. I mean, just a number of years, it was just going downward. Kind of had to reinvent ourselves. So, we found a tropical smoothie cafe downtown Miami. It no longer exists. I think it existed just for us to come find it.
Just to
I don't
find
know. That's how it felt. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and start one. No really restaurant industry other than back when I was in college. I was a waiter in a steakhouse. But that was a lot more valuable than I realized. So anyway, we decided we were going to go ahead and invest in one. And we found this place here in London Square. I only live like about 2 miles away from it.
Perfect.
That's what I thought. You know what? It was.
It was.
But all wasn't just smooth sailing. It's been a very valuable learning lesson. We've gained a lot of exposure. We've grown a lot in sales.
Right.
But probably the biggest thing I didn't know was going to happen was I was going to have this huge amount of young people in my life.
Uh-huh.
We hire, well, right now I think we got 22 employees, something like that. And, it's just amazing because it's an ever-changing group.
Right.
As one comes in, another one leaves, or another one leaves. Actually, they leave, and then we have another one come in.
Right.
So that's been probably the biggest thing I wasn't prepared for, to accept that relationship that you have with kids. It's great. I'm telling you, it's a rewarding thing. It's challenging. I'll say that. Some of the kids that you see in the cafe. But it's great. They're from 17 to like 25, generally speaking. So, but it's a great time. So now we've been doing this 10 years. We just had our 10th year anniversary, September 13th. There you go. That's what I think. Hip hip hooray for our team. So it's been great, and I wasn't sure we were going to even make it, because when the COVID hit, everything changed. We went from having great sales to having no sales, pretty much. We were down to 8 employees. This was back in April. So, just one of those things, you just look for a little hook somewhere.
Right.
One of the local businessmen, actually the manager of Costco, I happened to run into him one day. I walked in the store. He goes, "Hey, Brad, how's things going?" I said, "Well, tell you what, Justin, it's rough. It's really tough." And he says, "Well, you know what? Maybe I can help you. Come back later." And anyway, make a long story short, we fed all their employees for a week.
Wow.
That's what I thought.
Business helping business.
It was.
That's amazing.
One man coming above to help you, because he didn't have to do that.
He didn't. That's amazing. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. That you know what? That deserves a good news segment on tomorrow's show. That deserves a good news segment. Wow, I did not. I'm supporting that Costco more now. I'm supporting that Costco more.
You should. They're great.
We go there now. I have my membership there.
Me too.
But
Can't help it.
But it gets so packed that sometimes I kind of avoid it. But now, that's it. You just changed my mind. Completely.
Well, it's a company with a soul. I found that out. The more I know about that company, the more I'm impressed with it.
That's impressive.
Because of the quality of people they have and
Right.
maintain. There's people in this Costco that have been with Costco for over 20 years. I don't know if you're aware of that, because they used to be just up the street.
Right.
So, but anyway, that was a real saving grace for us. And now, when we got to this point, we're just thriving. Things are really good. I can't complain. But getting to this point has been a real struggle, So like everybody, the challenges of life come, and how do we accept them? How do we address them?
Right.
It's not always what you do. It's what somebody, reaches out their hand and helps you. So that was one thing I really feel blessed for. Unbelievable things that happen to you. You never know. You can't really plan on it. It just,
People don't realize the small little gesture that somebody can do can make a huge impact in somebody's life. 100% make a massive impact. And I love this story. I love it. So,
I do
so
too.
what happened right after that? Like what?
Well, what happened was, first of all, we all thought, because we were there working so hard, we had a purpose again. Right. We felt like now we got something going on in our lives, because for a while there was just nobody coming in. I'm telling you, we were closing really early. We were opening always at 7:30, our normal time, but we were closing sometimes at like 6 o'clock because there was nobody coming in.
Got it.
Now we're open till 10 o'clock again, back to normal times. But he was he was just thinking, hey, I need to feed my employees in an inexpensive manner, and he'd got that achieved. But he did so much more for us and he knows. I've told him several times that he saved our butts. So, thank you, Justin. We all need somebody to help us out every now and then, and he really did for us. So.
Well, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now. Michael Phil, always tuning in. What a great guy. We just made some recent adjustments to the microphones, if you guys have been able to hear it. Thanks to Eddie A from tomorrow's Two Eddies Don't Make a Right show. Just told me that the mics were a little low, so I brought them back up on the stream. If you guys hear it and it sounds good, just give us a thumbs up. Whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook or on our Twitch account, make sure you just log on to there. If you're listening to the first time on Spotify, Instagram, whatever the case may be, wherever you're listening to, iTunes Music, podcast, whatever, iHeartRadio, Make sure you guys check us live each and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Pass the Mic Podcast here on YouTube. That's youtube.com/Pass the Mic Podcast. And on Twitch, same thing. For our Facebook, it is PTMP Live. Is that correct, Sandy? Did I get it right? PTMP Live. That's Pass the Mic Podcast. That's PTMP Live.
That's correct.
And you can go on there on Facebook and find us on there. Michael says, sounds good on my end, so that's good. We're going to keep this thing going. So you bought Tropical Smoothie franchise, right? So it's a franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at that time, I think it cost us like $25,000 to buy a franchise. It was a franchise fee.
Right.
You know,
but you still had to buy the location.
Yeah,
you still had to buy all the raw materials, the restaurant equipment.
Yeah, and it comes one step at a time.
Right.
And you know, the biggest thing you have to do is you have to commit.
Correct.
A lot of funds. So how do you get it? You know, believe me, I wasn't making nothing.
Did you
earnings
use your
were so
own
low.
25 capital?
What I did is I had a 401k.
Oh boy.
That I had put a lot of money into and grew it up. But you know what? It was like everybody else around 2008. What was happening? The market was just dropping. So I said, you know what? I'm going to use these funds while I still can. So I cashed it in. There's a way you can do this. You just roll it into an account, and you form your own company, which we did, our own corporation,
right.
And you roll it right into that, and that's now your 401k.
Did you lose when you pulled out?
No, I didn't really lose anything. As a matter of fact, that's what
they don't charge you a fee for.
I think there was like a $5,000 fee. I can't remember the exact amount. There was some, but you know
what? That
still
sucks though. It makes $5,000, you know.
But you know what? I would have paid 10. You know,
don't tell the bank.
but and it's not to the bank. It's a company that does this for you. They're the ones that give you the lowdown. So what we did then is we went to Regions Bank. Thank goodness, more people trying to help us out.
Wow.
And so what we did is we got an SBA loan. It's called the 7A program.
Yeah.
What they do is they structure the program, the loan, so that it lasts 7 years. Doesn't mean in 7 years you're going to have it paid off, but the loan's paid, you service it for 7 years. Then at that time they renegotiate, and you know if there's some left, you figure out how you're going to handle that.
Very interesting.
You can balloon it, or you can,
and it's based on your personal credit.
If you've got a good relationship with your bank, they're just going to give, and that's what we did. They just continued on. Now it's done. Took a while, but we got rid of it.
Wow.
So that's a big nut to crack every month to hit that. So you're really not maximizing your earnings or anything. You're more like keeping the thing alive and making
Correct.
it grow. So that's really what the whole franchising industry is about. That's why people love it. They get into it and they start doing it, and they start maximizing more and more and more. Individual stores,
right.
If they will. And we haven't done that yet, but we're looking for that. There's a lot of opportunity right now. There's a lot of places that are, going dark, and
correct.
I hate to hear that, but you know what? That means that somebody else is going to be able, if they have the
funds or the means.
Yeah, and the will.
Right.
And more than anything else, that's what it takes, right? If you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it.
I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah,
that owner feeling.
Yeah.
And he nailed one of the points that I got to say that most people going into business don't realize. I mean, for those of you out there, young entrepreneurs, somebody looking to start their own business, one of the things that everybody missed, they're like, oh, I got to get my equipment. I got to get this. I got to get that. I got to get this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do it. He took the first step, but then the biggest step that he never anticipated was employees. I think that hit me hard too. I think the hardest part of any business is going to be employees, because you may have a great employee that you want to keep. You can't afford to keep them sometimes.
Not only that,
or they may go on to something else.
And they're not that great for you sometimes. Sometimes they're a great employee for a while, and they're not always a great employee. They change just like you do.
Isn't that crazy?
It is,
And most of them always start off great, and then they just...
Well, they sound like they're going to be great anyway. I'm going to do this. I'm going to...
Yeah, like, here's my qualifications, and this is so easy. I got this. And, they sound great in the interview.
Well coached by mom and dad.
And then they start, and you're like, they just clocked in, and it's like right on the money. Okay, well,
just ran in the door, still getting dressed on the way in.
Watch that. All right. And by week 3, 5 minutes late. By week 4, 10 minutes late. Hey, you're late again.
2 days later.
Why are you late? It was only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're only not supposed to be late at all.
Oh, by the way, thanks for the opportunity, but I quit. That's someone I love. Thanks for the opportunity. You've been here a week.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's not an opportunity. It's a job.
And people don't
You can
understand
turn it
that
into an
follows you.
opportunity, but it's the job. You
That
know,
follows
do
you.
that, and then it turns into an opportunity. Opportunities are what you make of them. You know, you don't come and say, "Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I've been here a week and a half. I got to go." Come on, man. But you know, that's somebody usually who has had a job before. You know,
Right.
it was just more than they thought. You know, they thought they wanted a job until they got one, and that's what they say. What is it? Watch out what you wish for. You
That's
might
right.
get it. So, and that's what they do. They get it, and then they don't want it.
So you're helping a lot of young people get their first job
I prefer that that's their first job in a
because they
way.
don't have any bad habits.
Not only that, but they also come fresh and they come clean and they come hungry, man. I want to do the job. I want to show you what I got. That's the kid I want.
That's
I
the
want
one you
that
want.
kid.
Yeah.
I got a kid working with me right now. I tell you, unbelievable.
He may be listening, so be careful.
I'm not going to say his
You're
name.
going to make the other ones jealous.
I'm not going to say his name. But he came to me and he had really I didn't hire him. I don't know why, really, to be honest. He didn't really have a ride. He didn't have a place. I just liked him. Something about him. So I brought him in, and you know, he started doing good, and now he's doing better, and he's doing great. You know, you just look at the kid and go, wow, you know, you want to tell him, don't stop,
Yeah.
grow, man,
Keep
rise,
going.
rise. Yeah, no, they are.
Do you find it different if you tell them something?
Well, sometimes you don't want to give them too big a head. You know that. You know, once they do that, man, you're really
You're in
for
trouble.
it. They're going to start owning you. No, you want them to think you're proud of them, but
Right.
you also believe me. Every kid that's ever worked for me knows he's got lots of room to grow. I don't give him a big head that often. It doesn't happen that much.
There you go. All right.
You
So,
know.
for those of you listeners out there, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I want you guys to tell me, what was your first job? Write it down in the chat line. What was your first job? I want to hear it. What was your first job? And I want to hear those experiences. If you guys want to come live with us and you want to chit chat with us, you'll be able to do so on our Facebook page. You just go on Messenger and Facebook Messenger us, and we will dial you in. As soon as we have you on the phone, Sandy will switch you into here and we'll bring you on live. All right. So this is the first time we're bringing that onto the show. If you want to go full on and you want to have your video picture in, just let us know. We'll bring in another chat line and we'll be able to come live with us directly with video and all. We'll put you up on the screen right here.
So, what was your first job?
To
turn the tables.
Oh, this is interesting. I mean, how do you want me to describe it? Like, I've always family-oriented businesses.
Yeah,
so.
sometimes it's just working for your uncle or for your dad. And other times it's really a job
All right,
you
so
get paid to go
the first
to. Whichever.
job I want to say I ever had was landscaping.
That's work.
Yeah, landscaping.
Hard work.
I helped my dad do landscaping when we were getting started, and that's how I helped pay for myself to go to school.
Excellent. So you're already a teen or?
No, younger
High
than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started landscaping with my dad when I was like 7.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he
I
even
think
had
that's
like a
called- I
little.
think that's called child abuse.
No.
Dad.
Yep. That's probably the truth right there. What is wrong with this thing? Come on, let's go. I'm hitting the horn and there it is. My goodness. All right.
Dad was holding
Finally.
it back.
All right. So here's the funny part on the trailer. We had this little guy. It looked like a little caveman, right, with spiky hair, and he's pushing a lawnmower, and it was like a little dude, and people would be like, "Oh, is that your son?" And I remember when he got the Dixie chopper. That was the thing. We had a
that
Dixie
big one you
chopper.
sit in, yeah.
And you'd see my small self. Like, I couldn't reach the floor. So, eventually I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, just driving around on the Dixie chopper and cutting grass. And I remember hitting sprinklers and getting yelled at.
Oh, I'm sure.
Man.
Yeah. That's a challenge working with your father. My son worked for me. I have a son who works with me now.
Yeah?
Still. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been working with me for 10 years. And he hasn't killed me yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I could do it anymore. That's it. Like, I passed that time.
You might find you have more patience now.
No. Sandy said no.
Not
No,
now.
I don't have patience for a lot of things, honestly.
I hear that.
I really don't. Like, I think the world just starts pressing down on my shoulders.
I know the feeling.
It just really starts to get
I know
to me.
the feeling. I know the feeling. What do you do? How do you relieve that? That's the thing that I've had to learn to do myself. I sometimes feel so much because I got this payment, I got that payment.
Right.
I look at the bank account. You see, you got this. You hear, you just anticipate
Right.
the things that are, and so.
No, and certain customers,
Well,
not all, but certain customers.
But that too. But more than that, it's just the participation of your life, being in
Right.
it. So it's like anybody. You can either take it with a smile or you can take it with a frown.
Right.
So if you learn to smile a little bit, maybe it takes a little bit of pressure off. But that's where you
It's
have
been
to
a
have
process for me. Honestly,
Of course,
it's
and
been
it
a
will be.
process for
It'll
me.
continue to be that.
It's
It
been
is
a
for me
process.
too. I mean, I used to work for other people, and I didn't realize some of the pressures they were feeling.
Right.
I mean, who hasn't talked about that boss? That's what a pain here, right?
Right.
Until you get there and you realize you're the boss now.
And you're the pain.
You are you can deliver a lot of pain, or it becomes delivered to you. Either way, both ways actually.
So you this is the very first business you ever owned on yourself, right?
I must say, I had my wife and I when we were first together,
Right.
and before we even got married, even our first couple years of being married, we had a little jewelry business that we went to a flea market, and we would go on Saturdays and Sunday mornings and set up our tables, and we would have a little jewelry business. She used to, put some things together. We had this little gold chain by the inch stuff. You probably have seen this, or know about it,
Right.
But this is what we got. Or this is the way we made enough money to have the down payment for our first house we purchased.
Right.
And I would have been wise to have kept it. Instead, it's one of those things you get that you kind of like reach a goal. Okay, I'm done. I made it. And we, that was just youthful exuberance and not realizing, what just
What could have
happened.
been.
What just happened there? And you don't realize, it's not that easy. It's not that easy just to do that. So, we kind of like, we work for other people. We have this steady job. That's the mentality.
The 9 to 5.
The 9 to 5, and that was deeply conditioned in me, and I regret it because that's not the way to have your life, to be letting someone else control it. And so I had a little taste of it there.
Well,
so I love working for myself. But go ahead. What were we going to say? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's nice to have that steady thing, but I think now, especially as the world reveals itself more and more to us, and it's become more aware for everybody, it's better to be controlling, you be the commander rather than, letting somebody else be it for you. Especially this day and age where, companies now kick their employees to the curb so readily and so quickly, and, just don't even let them be employees. They're a gig guy,
Right.
You're an Uber dude, or whatever. And I meet a lot of these people. They're great people. They work hard, and they're, have a lot of, they're valiant people in a
Right.
way, because they don't give up.
That's the
They're
important.
doing it. They're doing it because they need it, and they're needing it because they're conditioned. And maybe they came from Venezuela, and they've been here 3 years.
Right.
And they're working their butts off. And, they're smiling. They're good people. They're friendly. Some of them. Not everybody's the same, of course,
Right.
but, you just have to take your hat off and go, good going,
Right.
And, we can talk about politics. I'm not going to. However, we all need to have a helping hand. And no matter where you're coming from.
Don't worry, I
don't
made sure
care.
all the flies were out of the room. Shots fired.
Yeah. Duck. So anyway, the fact of the matter is, you see a lot of that kind of effort. And you see people doing those kinds of things, and you go, wow. I had a really good thing going. I mean, this is what I've thought about many times. I had a really good thing going. Why did I just let it go so easily? Was I really that tired? Was that really that hard? Because we were working 7 days a week we did this for like 3 years. So maybe we just need to consider taking a break and taking a vacation.
Hey, but don't give away all the secrets.
Yeah.
Don't give away all the secrets.
Well,
You're telling people to go get their own job. We're never going to have employees out.
But the secret as well as I do is just keeping your nose to the grindstone and just keeping focused on what you're doing and where you're headed. And that's that's what we have a lot of discussions with our employees, and oftentimes it has nothing to do with what they're really doing.
Right.
What would happen in the store. It's usually they're performing in a bad way with it. They're not smiling. They're not coming in with the right stuff. And we define that oftentimes.
Right.
So, oftentimes you just need to sit down and talk about something else, and it gravitates to something that's really bothering you.
Yeah.
Somehow it comes out. So that's value that you know, you don't know if you're delivering it or if it's being delivered to you. It could be one time. It could be exactly the opposite next time.
It's an amazing life experience.
Sometimes it's both ways. Yeah, it is an amazing life experience. Do you mind if I quote you on that?
Yeah, go for it.
An amazing life experience.
Go for it. Go for it.
I need more of them.
I know you were in jewelry. Now I know where to go. I got the plug.
Look, I'm wearing a watch.
Me
in
too.
and out.
I'm hoping that you can help me out. It's so I can keep track of when somebody comes late. You know, here's the crazy thing.
That's
you know,
great.
I want to probably say, is this a factual statement? Back then, probably wasn't as hard as you thought, because now it's probably way worse.
Probably. You know, it's hard to measure one against the other. First of all, I'm so different.
Right.
I mean, I'm the same guy, but I was a knucklehead then. Now I'm
The
not
development.
as badly. I'm not as badly as a knucklehead. I've been got the wounds to show it. So you know, part of what you learn, is, you know, you've done really good things in the past, and you know you can do them again. But sometimes you don't know what it is you've accomplished until you have to look back and say, and you know, have somebody talk to you about it, or somebody explain it to you, or just, you know, you stop and have a moment and say, yeah, that was something we did. You know, you don't, you know, you kind of undervalue, I think, at least I do, undervalue sometimes my own self.
Your own worth.
And it's typical, I think, just because, you know, we're looking at others. You know, you don't look in the mirror that often. You look at others. You know, it's an outward look. It's not an inward look. So
It's crazy. Like, this is like the third conversation I've had now. But look, Sandy's over there nodding her head.
Is she?
This is
It's true. It's
like
true.
God is sending me a signal from everybody at this point. He's like, hey, yo, look at yourself.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
yourself. It's crazy. I
Well,
promise you've got to be at least the third person who's
if
mentioned
God's
this.
telling you that, I second it. You know,
That's crazy.
It's true.
Can I
It's
quote you
true.
on that?
Yeah, please. Please, as often as you like.
All right, so Michael said his first job was Publix bag boy. That was his first job. And Carla says her first job was a retail store at the mall. Come on, guys, don't be afraid. Tell us what your job was. There's a lot of you guys listening. I want to make sure you guys, you know, communicate with us here. I know you enjoy hearing the stories and listening to what Brad has to say, but we want you guys to interact with us. You know, give us some questions, give us some, you know, some details about yourself so that we can relate to it. Do you have any other ventures or hobbies that you're into right now?
I love golf,
Oh boy.
but I'm not so into it now. It takes more time than I have.
Yeah.
You know, if we could play night golf, maybe I could do that.
That's another thing I noticed. You're at the shop a lot.
I am. I'm. Some people call it workaholic. I just say I like what I do, and I really do. But
you go.
I probably need a little bit more time of that balance that people talk about of life and work, and you know, I could probably use a little more life.
Well,
and
it's
less
still
work.
young, the business.
It's. I tell you what, it's doing great. I can't complain one bit about it, so I won't. What I can complain about is my ability to adjust and utilize those assets that I have.
Right.
So I just need to be a little bit more aware. So if you see me there, you tell me to go home. All right? Get out of here.
I've seen you there, and you're the one cleaning. You're doing deliveries. You're
Oh,
taking
Li-
orders.
listen,
You're
if
giving
I'm gonna be there,
orders.
given, taken, learning. You know, I think the best thing I can do is just be an example of what I expect them to do. You know, the
Well said.
people who work with me.
Well said.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
that's the
know.
best thing.
I didn't know you, and when I was sitting down, I looked at Sandy and said, "He's the owner."
Oh yeah.
And Sandy goes, "How do you know?" I said, "Just watch him.
Yeah.
Watch him for 2 minutes. He's the owner."
Yeah. It's
Nobody
pretty obvious.
cares about their business more than you care.
I think that's true for every owner.
Period.
Nobody is going to care. You can't pay somebody to care enough.
Nope.
You know, you can't.
Nope. Unless they're invested.
However, what you can do is you can show them how much it means to you, so it will mean something to them. It may not mean as much, but it's going to mean something. Mike, I think it was a bag boy at Publix.
Yeah, Michael.
I go into Publix all the time. I love their brand. It's a great company, I think. And you see, kids starting there, and you just know they're on to something else. You can just tell the way they speak, the way they they handle
Their
themselves.
persona.
I tell you, I think that's a great breeding ground for if you want to learn something. I don't know where you're going, but you can get a good start wherever you want to get. And that's oftentimes what I talk to my guys when I try to talk to them and encourage them to come work for me, is to tell them that, if they want to start learning something, it's a
Right.
good place. I'm not Publix,
Yeah.
but I never will be.
It's your first stomping ground. Make a good impression.
But it's a good place to lift off from. One of the first kids I had who was a shift leader for us
Mhm.
is now finishing his residency at medical school.
Look at that.
That's what I said. Look at that. This kid's doing great. The other girl I chose for the other shift leader
Uh-huh.
has her MBA.
No way.
Yeah, she asked me to write a letter when she was going to FIU to get into the program. I said, I'm honored. I'd love to.
Next
Those are things.
Next thing you know, she's opening up shop right next to
Yeah, forming her own brand, probably. The heck with doing one. But that's the thing, you never know what these kids are going to be. So if you can give them something, that's all you want to do.
Yeah.
We're giving you a lot. We do expect a lot. I'm telling you. Sometimes you think, man, I'm robbing this kid's childhood.
You think so?
No, no way. Sometimes, well, you have to. They have to get rid of that being a kid and start being a man.
Right.
Or being a young lady. But it's one or the other. They're either going to be a kid or they're going to grow up and be, mature and act
Right.
mature with you. So that's the difference. Yeah, I am. I want to take it from them
Okay.
because they've lived it already. By the time they come to me, they're 17 or 18 years old. It's time to start putting on the here to work.
Do you have a shop manager?
No.
No
But
shop
my
manager?
son Brian is
He's the shop
Yeah,
manager?
he's the manager.
Okay.
But I've got a girl, Melissa's worked for me 3.5 years. I hired her just before she graduated from high school. She became a shift leader that summer, and she's happy. She's happy to be there. I'm
Interesting.
happy to have her. She's great. Everybody in there, listen to Melissa, because they don't even have to. But she's a shift leader, and I have several of those.
But
She is the one.
Do you
If
feel? I'm gonna bring out some family spice here. Do you feel that your son doesn't step up as much as your daughter?
Well, she's not my daughter, but she acts like it.
Right.
My son steps up sufficiently.
Oh,
Let me tell you this: we all can complain, but let's hear what he has to say about Dad.
The list
To
would
be
go
fair,
on.
yeah.
Let me just hold on. Let me just pull out this gigabyte of complaints.
The hard thing to do is to talk about someone you love in a negative fashion, So I don't want to do that.
But I'm sure you just
but-
have expectations that.
And that's what we talk about. I say, look, no matter what you're doing, it's got to be more.
Right.
You're just not giving enough. And that's what I tell him all the time. He probably, as soon as he starts, I would imagine, in his own mind, as soon as he hears my voice, just start turning down
Turning
the
the
volume.
volume.
Turning it down a little bit. Come on, Dad, again. So,
Yeah.
and I don't blame him. He's, he knows more. I'm going to be honest with you. He can probably run the place better than me. But like you said, I have the intent to do it.
Right.
And that's what he lacks a little bit of. Just because he's not the guy who started it. He's
If
the
he
guy
invested?
who came into it, and he's
he invested, he would
quite a bit. He is invested. I mean, it's served him very well. He went to Berlin High School, paid for that. I mean, there's a lot of
Right.
college. It paid for that.
Right.
So he's. But as far as him getting directly rich off of it, not yet.
Right.
He'll make some money.
So do you have him as a silent partner in the business?
He is growing into. He'll be a member of our corporation. My wife and I are 50-50 partners. But
Right.
there'll be a time for him to be owner.
Okay.
And eventually he'll have 100% or
Right.
whatever he wants of it.
Right.
So that's where he's headed.
Right.
I wish you were here listening to this right now.
Yeah.
I'll have to play this podcast for him.
There you go.
Because I'm telling you, he needs to know it.
When you get in the car with him one day, just pop it on.
Yes.
Just pop it on.
I'm not
And
giving.
he'll be
He
like-
can't get
he'll be
away.
like, you were on a radio show?
Just to talk about you, son. I love you, and this is why I'm here to deliver this message. Eddie said, "We got to get to Brian.
There you
Come on,
go.
let's get him going."
We gotta get maybe he's listening in the shop right now, and he's like, "What is he talking? Turn it off! Turn it off!" All right, That that's fair enough. I can take that answer. I can take that answer. That's
hope so.
awesome.
I hope so.
That's awesome.
He's a wonderful kid. I love him. I call him a kid. He's 26. He's not a kid anymore, but he's a wonderful guy.
All right. What does hospitality mean to you, though?
You know, being hospitable is meaning to me that someone, just like they came into your house, what's the first thing you do? Hey, how you doing? Come on in, have a seat. Let's get something to drink.
You don't miss Brad on that, boy.
And that's
if
it.
Brad's
And
in the
that's
shop,
it.
you will know who Brad is.
That's a greeting. Yeah, you want to, and that's how you greet your friends, right? When they come to your house, you don't just say, "Oh, you again." I gotta tolerate you. You might say that to a family member, but not a friend. Right?
It's got to be pretty weird now, though, because I've noticed your demeanor did shift a little bit. You stay a little bit more distant from people. You're very open, very energetic. I want to say energetic guy, and I think it's all the smoothies. We already talked about this. I've been sipping on my smoothie a lot quicker because I found out his age, and I was like, "What? No way! No way!" I was like, "Yo, what are they putting in this thing?" So really, I mean, honestly, if you ever go to Tropical Smoothie, Brad will come up to you and quote me if I'm wrong, but Brad will come up to you and be like, "Hey, hi, welcome to Tropical Smoothie. How you guys doing? Did you read the sign, or did you? This is the first time you're coming in?"
Yeah.
Immediate conversation, and you're shocked by it. And you're like, nowadays people aren't as friendly as they used to be, but I'm very open. So you and I had a very open conversation really quickly, and you see it on other people that they're like, I just came from my smoothie.
Could you back off, please? Who is this
Who are
weirdo?
you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I have to explain that sometime to people. Hey, I'm not just some weird customer. I really belong here. I know I don't look like it, but that's
The first thing they look down is like, he's got a Nike shirt on. He plays golf.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo.
that's true as well. It's you've probably heard of a guy by the name of Zig Ziglar. He's from way back when, and he used to give these.
It rings a bell.
Speak to groups and just one of those guys just wanting to ramp up everybody. And he used to say that enthusiasm is your number one issue. You have to have it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're so enthusiastic you might miss, and it's all about sales and stuff with him. So you're so enthusiastic you might drive right by your customer. You know what might happen? You might get them as you're coming back down. In other words, enthusiasm, it serves very well, but not everyone wants to have the guy that
Correct.
comes up and wants to talk to you. Other people, just hi.
Yeah.
No more.
That's it.
So that maybe I'm learning a little bit of that, but I am a very outgoing person by nature.
Don't change it.
And I couldn't.
Don't change it.
I couldn't if I
Don't
wanted
change
to.
it.
You know what I mean?
Honestly,
That's
don't
who I
change it.
am.
You gotta. The youth nowadays needs to see that. I think.
come from a big family. I got 3 brothers, and there's 4 boys and 2 girls. But we're all close together. But growing up, you can't be shy. If you got brothers and sisters, you gotta stand up and be counted all the time.
Right.
So for me, it's just natural to be open and not keep it in, get it out.
Are you the youngest, eldest?
Number 3 out of 6.
You're in the middle.
So yeah,
Okay.
kind of close to the middle.
3 of 6. Yeah, it's right in the middle.
I'm in the middle third.
But in your family, I know about your son. Do you have a large family as well? Or is it
Just my son.
Just your son?
my son, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
we-
he dealt
kind
with
of the
all that, and
opposite.
he's like, yeah, no.
Been there
Trust
and done
me,
that one.
you don't want this, son. You don't want this. This will be your new brother right here, Tropical Smoothie.
Here, you can have a dog instead of a brother. Serves you well, too.
Shout out to Pup Culture. Shout out to Pup Culture for that one. There you go. You gave me a little plug right there. Boom. Love
Gotcha.
it. All right. Has Tropical Smoothie, do you think that they've recovered from COVID at this point?
My particular location, I believe, has done as well as what we could expect.
What
in
about
recovery.
corporate? Do you think it's the same
Corporate,
way?
well, I think what's happened with corporate is they've had a lot of things to deal with. They've taken it in, and they've dealt with it in a very, very judicious manner. We've grown. We're still growing. I mean, they're still developing a lot of new stores when there are a lot of places that have big challenges. So I'd say, yeah, I think they're doing quite well with it.
Right.
I think they're doing,
Exceptional.
yeah.
for the circumstance that it is. Michael says, now I'm craving for a smoothie, and I had a teacher in high school that would always play Zig Ziglar tapes in the classroom.
Oh my God. Old school guy,
There
for
you
sure.
go. Michael.
For sure.
Oh yeah, Michael's a cool cat. Cool cat. He's always
Sound like he knows stuff.
freestyle old school. If I play a freestyle old school track, Michael will be there in a second, I think.
I'm sure.
I think that's Michael. And man, we have so many silent listeners on YouTube today, huh, Sandy? This is crazy. I've never seen it like this. This is great. They must be really enjoying your stories.
I hope so.
They must really be enjoying your
So
stories.
am I. I haven't even swapped lower third.
All right, what's your favorite menu from Tropical Smoothie?
You know, I have my favorite smoothie is
A
one
menu item. Sorry.
Well, my favorite smoothie is the avocado. It's got 3 greenies. It's got
That's my
vegetable.
favorite.
It's got veggies 3 times. So you got avocado, spinach, and kale.
Right.
And how do you make that good? You put in lime, pineapple, and coconut.
Okay.
No sugar. I mean, on the recipe, we add a little bit of turbinado, which is raw sugar, but I never put it in. That's how I keep this beautiful body I got.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. But I have that, I'd say at least 4 or 5 times a week. I have a lot of other things I like, but I really enjoy, too, the Thai chicken wrap. It's another of my...
I've never had it.
It's a delicious wrap. It's just got the right flavors, of everything. The Thai peanut dressing has got a little bit of cilantro, scallions, little sesame seed, chicken,
Nice.
romaine lettuce, matchstick carrot. Oh, God, I'm hungry. I better go over to Tropical Smoothie
Look
and
at
get
that.
one.
Look at that.
So that combo that I just spoke about includes a side item, and you know what? We sell that for with tax and everything. It's under $13. So it's $12.82 is all that costs you.
There you go, Michael. And you're on, and I know for a fact it's on DoorDash. It's on Postmates.
It
It's
is.
on
Uber
Uber.
Eats. Uh-huh.
So
And also,
Michael, if you really want one, you just got the plug right there. So you got to get yourself a Thai chicken, and you got to get yourself
a
an
Thai chicken wrap and the avocado.
avocado. All right, there you go. And if you go to the one in Kendall, right, make sure you tell them Brad sent you.
Of course, you have to
Brad
say
sent
that.
You came from PTMP and you were listening, and you had to stop in and say hello. All right, so Sandy, what's your favorite? I know you got the avocado, but what about food?
It was one that they recently took off the menu. I can't get anymore.
Was it the flatbread, the
Yes,
Cali Chicken
yes,
Club
that
with the
one.
avocado?
Yep.
Or I mean,
Yep.
the avocado on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was very popular.
But they took it off.
I'm not
I was
sure
so
why.
sad.
May have had something to do. We were making a dressing. We made the dressing for that every day, and it had mayonnaise with garlic and fresh basil. And I don't know if that had something to do with it. Maybe it was varying in quality, because sometimes they'll do that. If it can't be a consistently great product, they say, well, we're going to get away from it.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's what it was. But in our case, in our particular cafe, it's a hugely dominant item. And
It was very good.
Shh, we still serve it. Don't tell anybody.
There you go.
I can't even order it through the
There
app.
you go.
I know you have to know
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
and you do.
You have to walk
So
in.
yeah, you got to find us. So that's just one of those things that, as part of being a franchise, we respect the franchise. We think they're great. They're knowledgeable. They know exactly what they're doing. And sometimes, shh. Enough said.
I
don't
gotta
wanna
have a
get
lot
myself
of
in
smoothie.
trouble here.
I gotta have a lot of smoothie right now because tomorrow we got wine coming in. So
Nice.
I gotta make sure that I'm nice and hydrated for the wine tomorrow morning
Yeah.
at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. wine.
9 a.m.
That sounds-
wine.
That sounds pretty good.
It sounds like an employee that came in late.
Can you tell us about the app though?
Well,
Oh, there you go.
we just migrated to a new app, and it's from a company by the name of Punch, Punchh, and we like it because it's a little bit more favorable, we believe, for our customer to utilize to order, and they can do a repeat order. You can find like your favorite order and those kinds of things, which our previous app was kind of a little maybe not quite as good at. So we're finding that people like this about our app. If they spend $55 on their app, we give them $5 back. That's a real redeeming factor. People like that. Once
This
we
is
tell,
true.
that's a nice
$5
incentive.
more.
So people like that. But basically now, because we're getting so many electronic orders, that it's a real easy way. And instead of coming in and having, like you were talking about, you have to wait and talk to Brad. Well, this way you don't. You can just order on the app. You come in and it's there.
No, I miss it.
I'd have to run after you to chase you down to say hi.
I miss it.
You know,
I really do. I miss being able to go into a store and just, chit chat
Well,
for a little bit.
that's gonna
It's my
change.
getaway.
That's going to change. But
It's my
believe me,
getaway.
well, it'll all come back to us
But
one day.
restaurants are opening up. Well, how come you guys aren't fully
Well,
open yet?
we believe that maybe it's just a little bit early.
There you go.
We're not saying we know. We're just saying
Right.
we think that maybe it's better for us to keep doing what we're doing, to give people what they want, and then
Right.
let them go home and enjoy it or eat out. We have a few tables out in the patio they
Right.
can eat on. But we just think that, we voted on this as a group. We spoke with the crew members, and
I love that.
let them decide what's best for us.
Teamwork.
I love
They
that.
know what's best because they're smart kids, and they are. They're very intelligent. They're not somebody they're not the kind of kids who, I don't know. They give you their opinion.
They're gonna miss that when they go to their next job. Not every job does.
They
that.
might, but maybe they'll get hired by Publix and they will find themselves some value. You know what I mean? Or a place like
Yeah.
that also does value input from the employees. So.
I think people misunderstand or misguide themselves as to how important the first job is, and having that person to come behind and say, hey, they were a great employee, they were always on time, I definitely recommend this employee. I'm sad that he or she is gone. And even when you get into corporate America or some big, let's say you become a police officer, they go back in your history
Of course.
and they call and check.
Yeah.
So you might want to, buckle down
Not
and
burn any
figure
bridges.
it out. Yeah.
Don't burn those bridges.
That's the last thing you want to do. They may be like, oh, it was his first job. But at the same time, they may go, hey, maybe he hasn't changed. Or maybe she hasn't changed. So, you guys need to always be on top of your A game and consider, hey, what if I was in that position?
Mm-hmm.
How hard would it be?
One of my first jobs I had when I was in college, I actually got the job when I was still in high school. And I used to work it was a Buick dealership, but they had a new car side, and that's nice Buicks. And then they had the used car side. Well, I got to work in the used car side. So what we did is, I cleaned them up. I, cleaned the carpet. You get this buffer out. And you try to wax. And those buffers weren't like what they have now. There's a
Right.
big, heavy machine, and we'd burn through the paint. It was. But I had a boss who was great, and he was a great salesperson, great sales manager. But he knew how to get me to come in on time with just telling me one time. Just by a big, tall guy, loved to play golf, really great guy. And he just, the way he'd tell me is he'd tell me in a serious way, but I didn't feel like he was threatening me. He just was telling me, like leveling with me. By the way, don't do that again. You understand me? I mean, yeah.
I got it.
Duh.
I got it.
But, just a matter of factly, that kind of delivery sometimes is just the best thing to do. You don't have to get mad. And he never did that. That's the thing I really appreciate about him. He could have gotten he probably was really upset with me, but he didn't
He didn't express
overtly.
it.
He didn't overtly just lay it out on me, you
Right.
know. So that was a very meaningful model to have as I look back and see that I'm working with now with kids that age. Sometimes, you just want that anger or whatever you're feeling. You don't want to let it out all the time. Once in a while, you have to, just because it's coming. It's there. You better just
Right.
it comes out from you.
Yeah.
Just comes out of your eyeballs.
I hear you. It was, I want to say for me personally, one of the best things that I could have learned was when I was in the military. I think that's where I really learned the value of the employees. I had to manage ever since I started in, from the very first day, boot camp. I got hit with
Rough life.
leader, and then A school leader, and then my first unit.
So why are they choosing?
leader?
Why are they choosing you as leader? What were you showing that? Something was making them do that.
Team player, and I could take the abuse, and I was a
Must have
go-getter.
been- maybe there's something else there too.
I was a
You're not
go-getter.
recognizing. You know what I'm saying?
I
Remember we were talking about worth earlier.
It was definitely a team leader thing. I remember what happened in A school, and this is what triggered them really fast. So A school, first day, they come in and they go, okay, I'm going to put you guys in a group, and we're in a gymnasium. And in the gymnasium, they have like a bunch of like little plastic sheets. We'll just call them plastic sheets. But it's kind of like kids' play zone, you know, the little mats, the little rubber mats.
Sure.
So they were chopped up into little pieces, right? And we had a group of, 30, 40 people. And they said, you need to get from here to the other side only using the mats. And you can't have 2 feet on one mat. And so figure it out. And you only have 1 hour. And I was like, okay. So everybody starts, you know, throwing out their ideas, and it's a chaos. And I grab everybody and say, hey, everybody come here. I tell everybody come here. And I say, okay, who's got an idea? Boom. Raise your hand. Or what's your idea? Bah, gave the idea. Anybody else have anything to add to that? No, I don't think that this. Okay, what is it that you want to do to change that? Or do you have something better? I think this will work better, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's listening. And they go, does anybody have a problem with that? Does anybody see a problem with that? And they're like, no, I don't see a problem with that. All right, this is what we're going to do. You're going to grab that. You're going to do this. And you're going to lead the rest of the team. I made him the leader. But I just directed the whole thing.
That's called leadership.
And
you recognized it before they did.
That,
Good.
It was that it was like, and then I got like the whole thing went.
So you had it.
I saw them
You already
discussing,
had it. Yeah,
and I
that's
was
cool.
like, man, I really don't want to stand out. Obviously, you know, sometimes you just don't want to stand out.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
it's a natural thing in me that if I see something that I gotta just go fix it or do something about it, and
You just can't shut your mouth, can you?
I can't shut up. Damn it, man.
I had a big brother used to pound me all the time because I couldn't shut up.
It was, man, it was horrible.
That's
What up,
what it
Robert?
takes.
What up, Robert? Robert in the building. What up? Thank you for always tuning in, brother. I appreciate that. I can't even talk now. Blah, 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 blah.
That's a good story, though. I like that.
Yeah?
I love that story. That's great, man. It shows a lot about you.
Well, you know, and then, oh man, I had to deal with everything. I had to deal with it all. Like you said, it rolls downhill. Poop rolls downhill. You know, and unfortunately, I had to deal with all the complaints. So my best way of dealing with complaints was like, okay, listen here. This is the rules. This is the regulations. This is how it works. Okay. If you have a problem with that person, or you have a problem with this, or you have a problem with that, you need to discuss it with me, and I'll explain to you why it's like that. Right? So they would come at me like, hey, why do we have to do this? Well, listen, this is what Chief said to do. This is how we're doing it. Unfortunately, whatever Chief says, we do. I don't think you're right. Listen, you're more than welcome to go to their door, but I wouldn't recommend it. So every so often I'd have one that challenged. You know, you always have that one. And man, boy, it would get under my skin.
A little thick-headed guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
I
it would
hear
get
you.
under my skin. And I got in a couple confrontations a few times, you know.
Well, if it means something, you have to talk about it.
You know,
You didn't fight about it, I hope.
it got close a few times. It got close a few times.
Depending on the
you know.
size of the guy.
You know, it was one of those Miami boy, you know. It just clicks
Just
in.
don't know when to shut up, do you?
No, I don't know when to shut up. And it's you know, I get you. I
That's
get
cool.
you. I
That's
get
cool.
you.
No,
You know,
that's
sometimes
good.
you just
You
gotta
are who
let
you
it
are.
out. You gotta
You
let
are
it
who
out.
you are,
Yeah.
you know?
You gotta let it out. Boy, did I let it out.
Let it out and it'll come back in. Don't worry.
Yeah. You know, and it served me well, but it also hindered me a lot because I was a go-getter, and it taught me a valuable lesson about being an employee, because everyone has a boss in the military.
Yeah.
Everyone has a boss. In the military, everyone has a boss.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, you always have a boss. And so that was the first thing they told me. And then another big thing for me, like you said, you had Ziggy. I had Dave Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey showed me the value of money and how to save money and how to work money and make money work for you, residual income, you know, those type of things. And I took those values and I brought it to the business, and I got to see bad bosses and good bosses, and that was really, really important for me, because it realized who I wanted to mimic and who I didn't, and what I wanted to do and add my own flavor to it.
You're a sharp guy. That's what it takes, man.
It was really interesting, just interesting.
It's like going to a smorgasbord. You know, you're got this layout for a buffet. I want a little of that. I want a little of this. I'm not going to have that. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
Same thing. You know, what's good for us and what's not good for us. Life is a big smorgasbord. We're always choosing what we can be and who we can be.
Right.
And it's important that we're the ones that choose that. Another thing we talk about a lot is you are who you are. And you define that. You don't let him tell you. You don't let that customer define who you are. They can tell you how you're acting. But, who you are is who you think you are. So define that by...
Damn.
When you define that...
That's who I am? Oh, boy.
I have to be that guy again. Well, you can... And that's the whole thing. You can change it, you know? And that's
I think that's the hardest part for everybody, though, the change.
I think it... Well, I'm not sure if that's the hardest part. I think sometimes... I think the really difficult part is just identifying the part you want to change.
Right.
You think that, we're all that sometimes, and sometimes it takes a little humility or something to happen in your life. We were talking about 2000. I was talking about the occurrence of 2008 when the real estate crisis happened. Listen, I didn't have any outstanding bad loans. I didn't go out and buy and spend my money recklessly or anything. But there were a lot of things that happened in my life at that time I had nothing to do with. I had no control over. Just like now, we have people in this coronavirus thing, they still can't work.
Right.
They still can't, we have this place over in London Square. It's called Bounce. It's a kid's play place.
Yeah.
They haven't been open. What are they doing? I wonder. I know the guy. He's a great guy. I haven't seen him for months. I don't know what he's up to. That's no fault of him, what's going on. So this is a thing that, we just don't have control over everything in the world. We can only control what?
What we do.
Us.
Right.
And that's a hard thing sometimes to stop and realize, that, you do have some control. And just because things aren't happening in your favor doesn't mean you can't make an adaptation and make a change. Just like you were talking about doing this problem-solving thing with this group of people. And they were acting all crazy. Well, you brought a change. You brought a little season of change for them. Just look at it differently. First of all, shut up and quit giving their ideas, and let's think about it as a group. And now we're going somewhere. And that's what we have to do is sometimes just regroup ourselves, which is what you made them do. Regroup ourselves and kind of like, what do you want to do? Sometimes you have to just do a little thing. Sometimes it requires a lot of stuff, That's where a lot of us don't want to do that. I mean, right now, the hardest thing is making a big change in your life that's going to affect you for the rest of your life, and it seems like so much I can't do it. How am I going to do it? I can't do it. Shut up. Quit whining about it.
Yeah.
First of all.
There you go. He said it best.
I don't know.
Just do it.
I said that a lot. I'm not really saying it
You
best.
got the Nike check, so just do it, people. Just do it. It's like the post that you posted earlier, Sandy. There was a guy walking up with stairs, right? And it had every little step. And he's halfway up. He's actually 3/4 of the way up. And this guy has a few steps, but they're spaced out. And he's there reaching up, trying to get to the first step. And so, she asked me, what'd you think about it? I said, well, in my opinion, it's just getting started can get that momentum. It's taking it day by day, step by step. Whereas the other guy may have thought about all the things that he needed to get to, but just didn't take the first step. I mean, honestly.
That's quite a question,
So it's a good one. Speaking of healthy, though, do you find Tropical Smoothie to be healthy?
You mean, do I find the food and the things there to be healthy? Or you find, okay, yes, I do, of course.
Okay.
Thank God.
No, it is. I eat it every day.
Okay.
So I have no qualms about that. I also find it's kind of a healthy environment to be involved in as far as from the corporate on down.
Right.
They respect us as people.
Right.
And, everything's done in a respectful way. So I think it's a very healthy system that has lots of legs and can grow long time into the future as well.
Very good. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. That's a great thing to hear.
No,
Sandy,
I'm so lucky
I've been looking for somewhere to invest my franchise.
There you go.
Maybe that might be the change that I need. And I already got a friend in the industry,
You do.
so there you go.
We'll extend you all the help you need.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some more fun. You ready?
I'm ready.
If nobody has any more questions for Brad, you're more than welcome to ask those questions. I know that as we go into the next segment, you may have one, or it may pop into your head. If you guys want to ask Brad any questions, you're more than welcome to. Just put it down on the chat line, and we'll go ahead and ask those questions. But for now, you want to have a little bit of fun, Brad?
I do.
Let's do it.
I'm
We're
always
gonna
looking
go
for fun.
We're gonna go into fun.
We're always looking for fun.
We're gonna go into this or that segment. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's called this or that segment. It is the segment in which we ask you a question. You can either choose this or you could choose that. Those are your two options. You have to choose one or the other. You cannot pick both. You're going to give me a description as to why, Brad. You're the person that gives me the answer as to why you chose it. Maybe something simple, maybe something a little harder. But you got to choose one. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys get to play at home or in your office, wherever you're listening to us. All you have to do is type it down in the chat line. And if you're listening to this interview afterwards and you're on Spotify, you can check us out live each and every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. All right, here we go. Do you know the song that goes, you can get with this or you can get with that? You can get with this or you can get with that. Do you know the song?
I don't know that
All right,
song.
so then you'll just dance
I
with
like
me.
it already.
You can dance with me, all right? You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. This is this or that segment. There you go, Brad. You did it.
This
He
and
his
that
own
one.
flavor.
I like it. I like it. It looked like Rush Hour. It looked like Rush Hour. Can you do that? Can you do that? All right, here we go. This or that, pineapple or mango?
Mango. No question, mango.
Wow, that
I
was
got
quick.
a huge mango tree in my backyard, and I love them, and the squirrels get them, and I don't.
What is it because you get to get the squirrel before?
Yeah.
All right, what is it that you love more about mangoes than pineapples? What is it?
I just love mango. I didn't have mango till I was an adult.
Mango,
And you hear them
mango,
before,
mango,
you can just own them, you know? And there's so many varieties.
Yes.
Wow. I had no idea. You ever been to a Fairchild
A
Tropical
fart?
Garden?
No, that happens after.
I've
I have
acted
the
like a
mango.
fart sometimes.
That
Just hang
happens
around and
after
stink.
the mango.
But in Fairchild Tropical Gardens,
good.
they have fartins.
Let's get him another water. Let's get him another water.
Spike this one. Put some mango in it.
He started thinking about mango in his mouth.
At Fairchild Tropical Gardens, they have a big mango fest annually, and they just have the most unbelievable, like ice cream. Some of them, there's
Yeah.
no sinewy little stuff in there.
Right.
It's just like, wow.
Just good.
Just great.
amazing.
Even a bad mango is good. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing.
You
I'm
know,
a pass.
I'm gonna say that's a Brad thing. All right, you can quote me on that one. That's a Brad thing.
Yeah,
All right, Sandy,
no,
what do you got?
mangoes are good.
Pineapple or mangoes?
Mangoes.
Mangoes. Why?
They're delicious.
They're delicious.
But I love pineapple too.
I'll second that.
But
emotion.
you said mangoes though, for sure, over pineapples.
Right.
All right, for me, it's a tough one, man. This is where it gets tough for me. I like both almost equally. I'm gonna go with pineapples.
You can go with pineapple.
I'm gonna go with pineapples. You want me to tell you why I'm going with pineapples?
I would love to hear the
All right,
reason.
I'm going with pineapples because of the fact that I've had mangoes my whole life. I had the opposite of you, and I love mangoes, but there was something about grandma's mango tree that can't be duplicated at a lot of mango shops or when I go to the store and buy a mango. So
Yes, I understand.
I have that element missing when I eat a mango, and I love them, don't get me wrong, but there's that thing missing from the mango.
I understand.
And I can get a pineapple from anywhere, and it tastes like pineapple, and it
Right.
also breaks down my fat because of all the rice and beans that I eat. It helps me with the farts at Tropical Gardens.
You know, I had that same feeling about tomatoes that you have about mangoes.
Okay.
I love them. But when I was a kid, I grew up in Indiana, and they raised a lot of tomatoes all over the place. And they had out in this field in front of my brother and I would go out there with a little salt shaker and just eat these tomatoes right out of the guy's field. And I tell you, to this day, that's my favorite vegetable I'll ever have
Tomato?
in my whole life. I love them. I cannot get enough of them.
You eat
always.
tomato raw, like just
Yeah.
right off the thing.
We were eating them just like you'd eat an apple.
Wow.
But then it was a different character. First of all, the skin actually was kind of like so thin.
Uh-huh.
It would, like, if you handle it too rough, it would
It would
just break. And inside, guess what was inside? Tons of seeds. You don't see that anymore. They've been bred out. The GMO with the
Right.
First of all, you get a tomato now. It's not red inside. It's kind
Okay.
of white or green, or it
Okay.
doesn't have that doesn't have seeds, and the skin is so thick that they can put them in a big truck and they don't damage each other. They used to have to, in one of my jobs, first jobs as a kid, I used to build tomato cages.
Right.
This friend of mine, Mark Green, and I would drive, we're getting our bicycles in the morning and ride out to his grandfather's farm about maybe 3 or 4 miles outside of town. And we'd be there all day making a nickel for each crate we built. We'd have a screwdriver, and they'd have these little prefab things. We'd put them together so you could fit tomatoes in these cage. And he'd pay us for these, and we thought we were rich, you know. But we were in a way, because a bottle of Coke cost $5 or 5 cents. Then.
Yeah.
And that's what we were made for each cage.
You're showing your age.
Doing. I am. I'm showing a lot of things.
Quiet. Quiet. Shh.
So to this day, I have that memory of that whole experience. So, I mean, every time I eat a tomato, I wish it was that tomato.
Have you ever been to Amish? Oh my goodness.
You're talking about here in the Redlands?
Yes. Oh gosh. What?
Robert is here?
No.
You're thinking of the...
No.
Well, I can't think for you.
Where you get the cinnamon buns?
Oh, yeah.
Nosberry?
Nosberry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nosberry.
I
You
was
ever
never
had,
going
you
to
ever
help
had
you there.
tomatoes in Nosberry?
I have not.
Have you ever been to Nosberry?
I have not. But I'll go now.
Oh my god.
I better get there.
Oh my god. Somebody help him. Somebody help
Missing
him.
out on life, aren't I?
What?
I've heard a lot about how great their buns are.
Oh my god.
But
There's
I
a
don't know
few
much
names
more.
for them. Buns, sticky buns, hot cakes, cinnamon rolls, cinnamon buns.
The good stuff.
Listen, it's the cinnamon rolls are great, but people forget that everything's homegrown there. So
Nice.
like all the fruits and stuff and vegetables and the picking that you can do there are really good too. Their honeys, almost anything that you get there is really good. They're Amish, so you know that's why they close
Everything's like
during.
organic and
Yeah, except for those cinnamon buns. Whatever they're putting on that sugar is not just sugar. That's got that Miami sugar. That
the cane sugar. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Cane sugar. Yeah, whatever. Those things are addicting.
Too
Okay.
good, yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
You get that's called sugar boogers. Okay. Shout out to
That's
Jesse
good.
Lopez. Jesse Lopez in the building. What up to you, brother? He has been listening since episode 1. Love this guy, man. What up, Jesse? Hope everything's good. I know you got the babies, you got your kids, and you got your business and everything running around. You still make time to listen to our show, so I appreciate you. Much love to you and your family. He says pineapple for sure, mango all the way, mango over there. So mango's winning. We only got one pineapple.
hip hip
plus
hooray
mango.
for mango. Yeah,
There
I
you
go for that
All
one.
right. Here we go. Here's 2. Land or air? Land
I'm an
or
air guy.
Air.
I'm an
Alright.
air guy. Yeah.
Is there you just don't like the ocean? You don't like the land?
I love the land. I love the ocean, but you gotta have air.
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 Alright.
Yeah, air.
Sandy.
Land.
Land.
Solid feet on the ground. Is that it?
What? Yeah.
I haven't
hear
had
that.
much airtime, so I would say land.
You put the chair sideways and she might freak out on you.
And how about you? What's your air or land?
Land. I'm gonna go with land. Reason being is because I could do more on land.
I got that.
I could do more on land. I love being in the air. Don't get me wrong. I just,
Dust in the wind.
I don't know.
All we are is dust
I enjoy
in the
motorcycles.
wind.
I enjoy a lot of different things.
That's
and
what I like.
it's
Dust in the
just
wind. That whole concept, that whole
exactly.
idea. We are just that.
Yeah,
in a way.
I'm on a plane. I can't see the cow. I just,
No, I like that. I like that perspective though, being up above, looking down. Because we live here. This
Yeah.
is where we are all the time. So I don't get up in the air that much, especially nowadays. Who's flying now? Are you?
Right.
You flown lately? I haven't.
no.
But that's not. Really
No, but
the
I will be.
That's not the. Where are you
will be.
going? Where are you
Next week.
headed?
Carolinas?
Nice.
Yeah.
Both of them.
No, just north. North Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a little business trip I got to do.
You gonna be out in the mountains, or are you going?
Yeah,
over
mountains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, very rural area. Very rural.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I
Beautiful
enjoy the
country.
rural areas. I live out in the Redlands now, so.
That is as rural as you
Yeah.
get around here, for
Pretty
sure.
much. Until you go to like Southwest Ranches.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
That's
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, Coco Plum of the of the Redlands.
There's some really nice places up there. I agree.
Old
But the
s-
Redlands is really nice.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
think where you
I like
are, it's older school because it built a long time ago. Most of it,
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything back there is a lot older.
Where Southwest Ranch is like a big planned community. It's big, huge lots,
Yeah,
and big
and
houses,
really nice
and-
homes.
Yeah,
and
it's
this
like
is- that goals. That's what I call it. Goals.
goals.
Yeah, goals. I want the small house that nobody wanted in that neighborhood. That's the one I want.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Old school style or modern?
I'm a little old school. You know that. I think you knew that before.
All right. Old school.
I'm
All
a
right.
little older school. Yeah.
right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with modern
Yeah.
stuff.
I saw
but
you using
I'm
that
more
cell phone with
familiar.
2 hands. I saw.
How do you turn this thing on?
Sandy, old school or new school?
New school.
I figured that. Young knucklehead.
Yeah.
I was born in the wrong era. I am an old school head, like big time.
Why is that, you think?
I like the old school cars. I like the old school looks. I like the old school almost everything. I like the old school personalities. I like the old school welcomings and buys, and I like the old school everything.
Yeah, it seemed a little more real to me then. I don't
Yes.
know why.
People were more personable. I enjoy the modern amenities. Don't get me wrong on that
Yes.
part, okay?
Well,
there are some
we all are
amazing
spoiled brats.
advancements
Yeah.
that we've had, but there's a lot of things that we're not doing. I think, what is it, Einstein, I think, said it best. Is it Einstein, if I'm quoting it correctly? We love more. We have better grades and yet are dumber. We have this. I remember. You know what? I gotta find that quote. Anyways, yeah, I'm quoting it all wrong. But
That's
anyways,
okay.
it's just basically we live more, love less, and
Oh, yeah. I heard something like that recently, too.
It was a quote, and
Who
I
was that?
can't remember who the quote was from, but it's a great quote. As soon as I saw it, I should have put it as a quote of the month, and it was great.
We'll see if we
man.
can find it.
It was great. We'll find it.
We'll
That's Sandy.
find it.
Look at
We'll
Sandy.
find it.
She's back there already searching for it.
Yeah.
she's already searching for it. All
But
right.
that living more and loving less, that's...
Yes, it hit me and resonated so
Yeah.
much with me. I miss seeing kids put a nickel in the gumball machine and it waiting for it to come out. I miss seeing kids with slingshots in the back of their their pants and riding bikes outside, and you couldn't drive a car down the street because Halloween was the thing and you couldn't go anywhere. And I miss going to the neighbor and watching him deal with Dennis the Menace. You know what I mean? Like you don't see
I do.
that anymore.
One thing I've noticed, we're all talking about we were talking earlier about the pandemic and some of the effects of it. Well, one good side effect I've noticed is I've lived in the same neighborhood over here next door to the hammocks for 27 years. And oftentimes during the day, you look down the street, you would see no one. And in the evenings, you might see somebody, a few people. Now, and for the last several months, you see kids in the neighborhood. You see parents out walking with the whole
Yeah.
family. You see
They're
them
riding
walking
bike.
their dogs. Bikes a big thing now.
You can't find bikes anywhere in you.
Right, but the difference is now people are out and about and they're like living in their neighborhood instead of going somewhere else. You have to make do with where you are.
100%.
And so so where does life start? Well, it starts the next step you take. That's your life, and that's what we have to remember. You want value in your life? Go find it. And where is it? Right, that next step you're taking. That's exactly where it lives. So,
That's it.
and that's what I see people doing in their neighborhood, with their families, with their people that they're with all the time. But now the difference is they're enjoying each other instead of
Right.
saying, and I'm just as guilty as anybody. My wife's in our bedroom watching her TV. My son's in his room watching his TV or his
Yeah.
screen and I'm over watching the playoff game or the golf match or whatever.
Right,
But
whatever.
we all have our own little screens or big screens where we're watching independently and living in the same house, but individually.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you still eat at the dinner table?
I don't eat.
It's
No.
a decoration.
Not really. I mean,
You see what I'm saying?
We
Like,
use our dinner table
Those
for
values are
Thanksgiving
gone.
and Christmas.
Yeah,
and
those values are gone. They're really, really
they
gone.
They are.
They really are. And I detest it. You know, this is one thing that I love about Two's Enough podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to JP on Two's Enough podcast. You know, he moved his family up north, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna end up north. To be
What's
honest,
up north? How
just
north are we
rural
going?
Arrowland. I mean, you don't have to go far. I
And
really.
Are you talking about north of Florida?
Yeah,
or?
North Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't deal with the cold. I used to live in Virginia. I don't like the cold.
Yeah.
And when I was in the military, they were like, "Oh, hey, right out of high school, you got Alaska as your pick." And I looked at her. I said, "You are literally. I'm telling you right now. If you send me to Alaska, you're."
I'm AWOL.
Tomorrow I am coming with a bag of cocaine in my pocket. Okay, so you can kick me out.
Kick me out for sure.
Because I'm telling you, if you think you're gonna send me to Alaska,
No
the
way.
guy that I don't get along here, I'm gonna go punch him in the face. Okay? And she looked at me, she's laughing.
don't
She's like,
blame
"Why are
you.
you being so dramatic?" And I was like, "You don't believe me?" I was like, "Listen, you know me very well. I'm not gonna tell you I'm lying to you." And I said, "Hey, listen, BM1, if you think you're gonna, actually she was chief at that time. You think you're gonna send me? No, she was BM1. If you think you're gonna send me to Alaska, you might as well just sign my resignation right now." And she goes, "Eddie, Alaska's beautiful. You're gonna love it. Trust me. I've been there. Da da da." And I said,
Nice
"I
place to
don't
visit."
deal with the cold." And she's like, "Yeah, but you know, it's not as bad as you think. You know, it's a really easy, you know, going. You get a lot of money for the cola." And I was like, "Listen, you're sending me to a very rural area in Alaska, Valdez, Alaska. I haven't even heard of that place." Okay, I said, if maybe you said Anchorage or something like that, I would love it because I am an outdoor wilderness person, and I know that I can kind of deal with it. I deal with it here already, but it would take a lot of getting used to. You're sending me to a very cold, remote area in Alaska dealing with water. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I could make it there. I couldn't live
And
there.
so yeah, definitely not happening. All right, couch or recliner?
For me, a couch for sure. Oh, by
Well, recliner's
not
kinda the
even
same
clo-
thing, no?
No, man, I need the couch. The recliner's nice, but you're sitting back there.
I think you're on your own on this
I
one.
like being on the couch. I'm not real.
Sandy, couch or recliner?
Recliner.
What? Give me a lazy boy. What? Bro, I can't wait to see what everybody writes now. I can't wait. We're going to catch up
I'm
with
a
everybody in
couch
a minute.
dude,
All right, here we
for
go.
sure.
One more. Here we go. No, actually, two more. Books or magazines?
This is a really good one because I am a lover of books,
Okay.
and literature is one of my best friends.
Uh-huh.
But who has the time? I don't have any. Now I read magazines.
Oh, but have you gotten to audiobooks?
No, I don't. You know what?
Christmas,
I appreciate
I'm
what
going to
just
get
said.
you. I'm going to get you some headphones so that when you're talking, we got these great Jabba, right? Jabba
I have
headphones.
those little, the little Jabba, not
Jabra?
the headphones, but the
You have Jabba?
yeah.
Okay,
That's a
so
brand I have.
Jabra.
Yeah,
Jabra.
Jabra.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Jabra.
Yeah.
Jabra. You put them in, and it has to where when somebody talks to you, it brings down the volume, and you can have a conversation, and you can hear
Nice.
them. It's like a microphone. It's really cool.
But it's not that. It's not. I don't have those. That's for sure.
Yeah, these are like little. They plug in. You have a little pocket. and
I got
everything.
the ones you got at Best Buy for $120. That's the ones I got.
No. These are 200 and these are $200 minimum.
No, that's
Yeah.
not what I have. I
Yeah.
just have the ones you can just listen to. Music, yeah, you know.
But anyways,
Sort
they
of
got these audiobooks,
Yeah, tell me
and
about
you
it.
can. It's like having the author read you the book. It's very good, very very good, very very good. I would highly recommend if you don't have time to grab a paper and flip the pages and all that. Again, this is where modern technology does help. But if we had time to reflect on ourselves and had our own 9-to-5 schedules, maybe we might be able to read a book here or there. While having a nice honey Jack Daniel's whiskey or Tennessee whiskey.
The last time I tried to read a book, I mean, really, to sit and read, I fell asleep. I said, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I get like 2 pages into it.
Sandy. So you're going to say magazine then, right?
Magazine for me
Sandy.
now.
Books.
Books. You read books, Sandy?
Yes, I do.
Not on the computer, or like an actual book.
No, like I have a whole bunch of books.
And I'm not talking about Dr. Seuss.
I have a lot of books.
That counts.
I have self-improvement books.
Self-improvement books. Okay.
Very nice.
All
Very
right.
nice.
All right.
And you can read magazines about that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that called like Cosmopolitan or?
It's kind of sort of. Yeah.
All right. All right. For me, let's see. For me, I'm gonna go with magazines. Magazines for sure. It's got pictures. I like pictures. I don't know.
Pictures, bigger print,
Yeah.
shorter articles.
Magazine. You know, the magazine with the little bunny. I'm kidding. I'm kidding,
That one
people.
still,
I'm
I haven't
kidding.
seen it. Is that still
I'm
around?
kidding. I
haven't.
think so. I don't even know. But for me, I like all kinds of different magazines. Not tabloid magazines. Not
Right.
like the stuff that goes on with like celebrities and stuff. I don't like those.
You like those car part
I
magazines.
love.
He will
Oh
stay
my
stuck
goodness!
on that.
I love building up old classic cars and stuff. Again, old school.
Nice.
I'm building my daughter's car.
What are you building?
91 Chevy 1500 Cheyenne, so it's rare. Single cab, short bed, and from the ground up, so complete frame off.
Do you? That's my son.
Hey, there we go.
I'll let him suffer a little bit.
The store's on fire.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Put it out.
I left you for 1 hour. All right.
Put it out, please.
Steak or chicken?
For me, chicken.
Chicken.
I eat steak. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
But for me, I eat chicken.
Chicken. Just a health thing, or
It's
would you
not just
rather
that.
have steak, or would you rather have chicken?
Wow, that's a good one. Because it's not.
I got
Because
deep.
you don't. Yeah,
I
you
hit his
did.
soul
You went
right
down. That's a low blow, man. Okay, I'll be honest.
right.
I would rather eat steak because the taste is great. It's
Okay.
wonderful.
Medium,
However,
well done.
No,
Rare?
no. I like it medium rare. I like it red but hot. Pretty much.
So it's got a heartbeat, but it's burning. It's got heartburn.
You can't walk it. Exactly. So I like to eat it, but the thing is, I just know health wise, it's not that good for us to
I
have it
figured
that
that's what it
much.
was.
So it's more of like I have it occasionally, but not that frequently. Chicken is much healthier, and even that I don't eat large quantities. I
Okay.
eat smaller quantities
Of even chicken or
even
steak?
chicken.
Okay.
No, everything. I mean, that's back in towards the end of the year, early part of this year, in about a 3-month period, I lost around 20 pounds doing that. I mean, I started walking my dog really fast. She started losing weight too because I was taking her out so much.
There you go.
Just minimum 45 minutes in the morning, minimum 45 minutes in the evening, and just eating less.
Right.
So no matter what I was having, I just decided to eat less, and I'm still doing that. And it works out good. It's a good maintenance thing because I found that I was just feeling like not that good because I was feeling like I was eating too much. I mean, 3 meals a day. I know everybody says you should eat like that, but I'm not sure we should. I think we need to have something, but I'm not sure it's a meal.
It's almost like if you just snack all day, you'll be fine.
Or maybe 3 times a day, eat something where you're putting something together. But I don't know if we really want to.
You shouldn't be having
meal.
3 heavy meals. It should
Yeah.
be. You should have like a bunch of small meals throughout the day. Is really what it's supposed to be.
If that can, we can put it that way.
Yeah, it's
That's
supposed to be
fine.
a bunch of small meals throughout
So
the day.
this quantity wise,
You can
I
almost break
decided to
down one of
reduce.
your big meals and break it down into a whole day.
That would
pretty
be a
much.
smart. That would be a smart move for most of us, I think,
Pretty much.
because you don't feel good after eating a large meal like that. Your body suffers a little bit from it.
Shout out to BeFit. You want to answer that? It's fine.
No,
Go ahead and
no,
answer.
no,
you're
that's
good.
all right. That's my-
I hope that it's not burning down. Honestly,
That's
you
all right.
sure?
I'm not
You want
sure.
to text them?
They're good. They
All
can
right.
text me if they really need to talk to me.
Sandy, chicken or steak?
Chicken.
Yeah,
Do
Sandy
you eat
eats so-
steak? Do you eat steak?
I
Sandy?
eat steak. I like it.
Okay.
She
But
eats so much.
Chicken is my go-to.
She eats so much chicken. She's sitting there because she's laying on eggs. I promise. She's laying eggs.
I almost wanted a third choice. Don't we have fish?
No,
Okay.
no, it's this or that.
All right.
That's what the segment's called, man.
Oh, I was gonna say the
Come
other.
on, Brad.
I was gonna say the other.
All right, this or that or the other.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, for me, steak. Health. Give me a fat old steak, boy. What? Churrasco.
Yes.
Man, you know what?
I'm outside skirt guy. Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh
no?
man, you know what? In bone
Oh, ribeye.
tea.
Oh, T-bone. Porterhouse. Yeah, those.
Porterhouse.
That's where.
Man,
No, I got you.
New
I
York
got you.
strip, nice with all the fat hooked up to it. Oh man, get in my
I know.
mouth.
I know. And especially if you do it on the grill outside.
Listen, I
With some
love grilling.
friends.
Love grilling.
Kosher salt on it only. Just.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people make that mistake. Salt and pepper is all you need. All you need.
Just salt. We'll do the pepper as we per
Really?
person. Yeah.
I always
just put it on the top a little bit and do it. Oh.
I'm not going to give you my secret recipe for my churrasco, but one day I will give you some churrasco that I cooked up. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy.
Do a little chimichurri with it.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, my son makes a great chimichurri. Yeah.
My
From
steak,
scratch.
my churrasco is so good, you don't need it. I promise you.
Really?
It always ends up sitting there. I promise you.
What are you talking about?
The chimichurri always sits.
Oh, the chimichurri. You don't need the. I just don't need. You said my churrasco's so good, you don't need it. What you mean is I didn't need the chimichurri to go
yeah.
with it. Oh, I got
It
that.
always sits on the table when I serve it. There's always the guy who grabs it and puts it on and
Of
oh, it's
course.
great, blah blah blah.
He's not enjoying steak.
And then
he's enjoying the chimichurri.
hey, try the steak without it. Oh, this is really good steak.
Yeah,
It's like you.
good
Oh,
stuff.
Get in my belly.
So I guess I said chicken, but now I think I'm gonna have to change my answer to steak.
All right, let's catch
Churrasco.
up. Let's catch up on what everybody else here had to say. All right, so land because I'm scared of heights. Land only flown once, and then we got old school. Old school's the only way. The old school's the only school. Depends what, but did old school is the best school. Old school. My equipment is occupying my dining area. Good answer, Jesse. Good answer. Couch with a recliner. Jesse,
That's
it's
a good
this or
one.
that,
Yeah.
bro. Come on, man.
That's a two.
You know, I'm surprised. Everybody said couch here, though. That's insane. Magazine, recliner, books, audio books. Okay. Chicken, steak. Wow, it's like a 50-50 split at the end there, huh? Bro, this guy's steak challenge. You know what, Eddie A hopped on YouTube right now
Just to tell you that.
just to tell me that. All right, Eddie, check it out, man. You want to have a steak off? We're having a live steak off on our show. That's what's gonna happen. Get ready. We're gonna invite randoms. We're gonna invite Brad, and we're gonna give them the plate. We're not gonna tell who it was cooked by, and we're gonna find out whose steak is better. Steak off. If you want to be part of that,
I want to be part of that.
Put in the chat line, I want to be part of it. All right, here we go. Let's go into some. How much time you got, Rad?
As much as you need.
All right, here we go. Let's go into some world topics. You ready for this?
I am.
All right, let's do some world topics. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show as to why Pass the Mic podcast was made. We made it during COVID-19 in the beginning stages, and I wanted to find out solutions to the real problems that we have out there. And of course, with this election and so many other things happening around the world and around us, I say I like that old school mentality because I want to find solutions to the new school mentality that we have now. All right. So instead of just complaining or having an opinion about it, it's great that you have an opinion, but give us a solution to these problems. Or if you have a problem that you want to present to us, bring it in. All right. At least 4 restaurants were damaged in a fire along Hollywood Beach on Boardwalk this morning. Flames could be seen bristling through windows and doorways of at least 4 restaurants. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Little Venice, how do you say that?
La Brochetteria.
La Brocheta.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's Dia at the end.
Brochetteria. Uh-huh.
Okay. And Blue Wave Hollywood Grill at Peru Restaurant and Ocean Alley. That's crazy.
That is. You're familiar with Hollywood Beach, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Hollywood Beach. I stayed at the Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, that's the new school of Hollywood Beach.
Right.
This is old school Hollywood Beach. Those older restaurants that are all built next to each other probably don't have firewalls separating one from the other like you would have.
Right next to it, I ate the breakfast at one of those where they're all linked together.
Yeah.
On the boardwalk.
And, you know, as sad as that is to hear, and I think it's a horrible tragedy, but it's almost, you could say, it's like an accident waiting to happen. You
Right.
know, that if one of those caught on fire, how could you stop it? A lot of them are wood frame buildings, probably will be replaced with something nicer like Margaritaville if
Right.
it if it's that badly damaged. But that would be the best thing to do rather than try to fix them, is to make them, because that's a great setting.
You
that,
think
that
about it though,
Hollywood
like
beach.
fire nowadays. You just don't. We have fire extinguishers. We have so much modern technology,
They're not that-
sprinklers,
they're not that
halons. I
yeah.
mean,
Well, under those buildings have those.
yeah, who knows?
That's-
You have. I know you have sprinkler system.
Of course we
I can
do.
even tell you where your fire extinguishers are.
Of course you
Don't
can.
ask me how I know all that stuff. Don't ask me.
We just had one today.
I know your exits. I know everything. I know how many employees you have in the back. I even know how many blenders you have.
But this is a real shame of something like this to have happened. And what you're asking about is, or what you're reporting here, is a tragedy of someone's making, but who?
Crazy, right?
Four restaurants down. My God,
Yeah. If it was an insurance job, I don't think they expected this one.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to find, right?
So what do you think would be like a great thing to have in place for like restaurants, to avoid these situations?
Well, we just mentioned some of the newer
Systems.
compliance
Right.
that comes along with
Yeah, but just
buildings.
meeting regular Dade County approved stuff doesn't always mean it's the right thing. Like, there are halon systems where basically if a certain temperature gets, it pops a little vessel up top, and then it lets out CO2 or whatever the case may be, gives you an alarm, lets you know
Mhm.
to get everybody evacuated from the premise.
Oh, that's exactly what you need.
Right.
But you're talking about retrofitting an existing structure. In this case, that they would have had to have done that to
Right.
prevent this kind of thing from happening. Who would bear that cost?
Do you guys do training for your employees as far as fire?
That's a great question. Not so much for fire, more like for how you can give somebody resuscitation.
Okay. Yeah. CPR.
Yeah,
Basic first aid?
Those are kinds of things that that-
food allergies.
yeah, of course,
How to deal with an
someone-
EpiPen.
if someone's choking.
Correct. That's right behind you.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
you've got it right there.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things you can coach, but how do you handle fire? I mean, get the hell out, right? I mean, if there's a fire, get the hell
Well,
out.
no, I mean, like, so we had to know all the different types of classifier and which fire extinguisher worked for those situations. So you may have two types of different fire extinguishers in your building, right? You may have a CO2 fire extinguisher, and you may have a Class D fire extinguisher for jettison or for whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like if you have like a bad grease fire.
Showing your Army background here. Yeah, look at
So
this.
here's
the knowledge is coming out.
Here's the thing: like if you used an AFFF, which is Aqua's first, and I know Rob's in here. Rob's a firefighter, so he's probably listening to me like, yo, this guy just needs to become a firefighter already. So if you have your AFFF, right, which is like this foamy substance, a lot of the police departments use it. It has like a liquid inside of it, and it works on some grease fires, but really what you might want to use is something else. You know what I mean? Like there are other options, or you have a Class A, which is water. Literally, it's water coming out of a fire extinguisher, and they put that on a grease fire.
That's
right?
the last thing you want to do.
You don't want to do that, right?
No,
So
no.
if somebody's just like, oh, it's a fire extinguisher, they grab it, but they don't know what they're grabbing and they don't know what they're doing, they could cause more damage to your store.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So, like, for me, it's like basic things that we just forget with everyday life. And, Dade County bothering you about both two bathrooms and the doorway being 36 inches and blah, 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 blah. And so many other millions of crazy things. They don't even have, like, a prerequisite of how you're supposed to run your restaurant during COVID. But yet every guy that comes into the building is giving you a different thing. Oh, your hand sanitizer has to be here with a little table and this and that and that and this. Trust me, I've heard all the stories.
Yeah.
Heard all the stories. You
I
guys
got
have
one.
heard them on the show.
I got one.
Go for it.
I received a fine of $510.
Look at that. Because you didn't have arrows.
This is no. Listen to this. It was July 23rd at 8:55 p.m. I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, maybe a Thursday night. Probably no one was on our patio. And anyway, we have 3 tables out there. Each have 3 chairs, and 2 of the chairs were less than 2 of the tables, I guess, or whatever, were not distanced at least 6 feet apart.
Right.
He couldn't find a hand sanitizer station. Of course, we've had one from Baptist Hospital. They donated to us for like 3 years.
Wow.
It was there. I don't know why he didn't see it. So he's, this is a fine that I was assessed, a citation I was given from an inspector for Miami-Dade County, $510.
Because
They're
you
trying
didn't see it.
He's not smart enough to figure it out, I guess. But, we should have the chairs 6 feet apart for sure. But, if a guest gets up, walks away, how long's it been like that? I don't know. Maybe they were there for 10 minutes, maybe they're for 4 hours. I don't know.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, it was $500 fine.
That's crazy.
And I'm thinking, these guys don't know what it takes to make $500.
Yeah. That's crazy.
$500 is not easy to come by. You
No.
you don't find it lying in the street somewhere.
No,
it's like,
on top of that, people don't understand. Yeah, there's people coming in the restaurant, the big number at the end, but at the end of that big number gets shrunken down a lot because it's a nickel and dime business.
It goes out faster than it comes in many times. You
guys have to calculate the paper cost that you put our wraps in.
Yep.
Or our flatbreads in. You have to calculate the bag that goes in there. How many napkins were distributed? Was there utensils? Or those utensils cost?
Straw, yeah, everything.
The straw, the paper on the freaking straw. You know what I mean? And people don't realize that the top is sold separately from the can. They don't know that this top you pay separately for. This little plastic
you buy them by
thing,
the case. Yeah,
they come separate.
Yes, they do, and the cup comes separate. And they have another size cup, and it comes separate.
And all this logoing
you
and
can't
branding,
buy 3 of them. You have to buy 500 of them.
Thousands in order to get a good deal. Thousands and thousands of them. It's crazy. People don't realize all the little stuff that goes into it. I'm telling you, I'm ready to run one.
Sounds like you're ready.
All right. So here's another example of the fire thing. I just want people to realize that it's important to teach people these things. Look, Class C fire, which is a Charlie fire, okay? It's usually associated to an electrical fire. So that electrical fire may happen. What happens when you have an electrical fire? What do? Do you spray it?
Turn everything off first.
Bingo. See, it's smart enough. But if nobody's ever had that training, as soon as you turn off or you remove the electrical source it becomes a class alpha fire, which is a standard fire. You can almost use any fire extinguisher for it, right?
Yeah.
And people just don't know that. And there's also something called a PKP, and PKP is like this purple potassium.
Oh yeah, I've seen that stuff before.
And that's what it's like, a powder that goes over the equipment. What people don't know is that it ruins electrical equipment. So imagine your employee grabs this, sprays it off, right? It was a small fire, but sprays it, right? And he ruined a bunch of electrical equipment that could have been salvaged.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know.
If he would have just grabbed the right fire extinguisher. So this may be something that we, as business owners, should just take a second and teach those coming in to, know a little bit about fires and how to handle them, especially in the restaurant business.
That's a very appropriate thing to say. We just have one type of fire extinguisher in our building.
ABC?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, most places have ABC, which is all 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I just know that, we haven't had one. We don't want one. So the best thing to do about fires is to prevent them from happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
well, preventative measures are always the best. Obviously, abstinence is always
that doesn't work so well.
It's always the best.
Not always the best. Most effective, let's put it that way. Not always the best.
That's funny. All right, so there we go. I think we hit that one over the head, right?
You did.
Do you see how we come up with the solution? You got the idea? All right,
yes.
You're up. Here we go. Miami Heat lose the finals. Can you please give us an example of how we can avoid this? Miami Heat lose the finals. Fans still show support and for the team's effort. Viewers notice LeBron is complaining a lot and wonder if they were just blinded by being a fan when he was in the Heat team. He did the same thing when he was here with the Heat. I always had said it. I'm more of a Wade fan than I was a LeBron fan. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. When he's on point and he's kicking, you getting sound in there?
No,
you good?
I'm good. I'm
good. When he's on point and he's kicking, he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But the other day when I was on Roots Miami, boy, he said, LeBron is better than Jordan. I about lost my mind.
Yeah,
I had to hold my composure. Remember that thick skin I was telling you?
I hear you. No, I hear you. I wouldn't agree with that either.
So, did you watch the Heat games? Did you watch finals or any of that?
Absolutely.
Wasn't it a great game? Oh man, it was a great.
I love
game.
this team that they've assembled out of nowhere.
Shout out.
They went from being who
Yeah.
to what?
Yeah, yeah.
They're incredible.
And they did it with 3 of their top injured players against the Lakers. That's not easy.
I love what they got.
That's
Really,
not
I
easy.
love what they bring.
I think that a few more threes in, a little bit better defense, like catching those rebounds instead of being halfway down the court. I think that's where the ticket needed to be.
I think that part you just spoke about, rebounding, is such.
An important element.
Well, in this case, I think it's the big difference. The Lakers have a lot of big boys. They got a lot of big bodies, and they keep coming hard.
Yeah.
They don't, and even their guards, they rebound hard.
If you're gonna not
So
play
you got
that
to put a
rebound,
body on those guys. If you
you're-
want to stop them, you got to put a body on
we're
them.
small. We're small. We
But
already
you can
knew
be
that.
small, but you can be effective. You got to put your body
I
on
mean,
those guys.
Muggsy did it, right?
Yeah,
Muggsy
he
did it.
played. Yeah, yeah.
Again, it comes back to
Spud Webb,
heart.
he played. You
Heart.
know, yeah.
Heart. You gotta want it. You gotta want it.
So-
And we did want it. We did want it, but we're new. We did a phenomenal job. I can't. You know what? Shout out to the to the Heat.
Go Heat.
did
Let's
a-
go
they-
Heat.
They did a great job. We're over here talking
We're
too
loving
much
them.
stuff, man.
We're loving them. No, we're loving them.
Yeah,
I
there
love
you
the Heat.
There it is.
And if they could beat LeBron, it would be such a piece of cake
Yeah, it
for
would.
all of us. We'd all love that. We'd all love that.
That's what it would have been right there.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyways, he was crying a lot. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I didn't
does.
see
He
him
cries
putting up
a
a
lot.
lot of the points, and he was flopping, and there was another flop in the middle of the game, and I was just like, even the commentators are saying they're tired of the flopping.
Thank
just
you.
get out and play the game.
You're welcome.
Play the game. All
Yeah.
right, 12-year-old Georgia boy begins his second year of college. 12 years old. That's amazing. The young student is about 2 semesters from finishing his associate's degree. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Why would any kid do that? Do you think he chose that? I don't know. What? Where's his... Poor kid.
Wow.
What the hell is he going to be doing next?
I'm building something amazing, I hope. I really hope.
Unbelievable.
Yo,
12-year-old kid.
If anybody's got a 12-year-old child out there, you could just say, why can't you be more like this kid?
Yeah. Go watch him for a while, will you?
My daughter's really smart.
Model that.
And I said, you know what? Maybe we can advance her in the classes. But I started really thinking about what they had told me was, listen, doing that at such a young age, by the time, she's dealing with the third graders, her maturity level is just not there with a third grader or second grader. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. That's crazy. So, anyways, 12 years old dealing with college people. I mean, 12, honestly. Hopefully it's not in California. I don't know if you heard about the things going on in California. But, yeah.
Fires.
No,
That's
not
what's
just
going
the
on in
fires.
California.
Not just the fires, but yeah. It's really rough over there. A man has been taken to the hospital after he was bitten by a black-tipped shark while swimming off Miami Beach. I did see that. I saw the video. They had it elevated. They were, wrapping it up. Somebody filmed this whole thing. The poor guy just got bit by a shark, and you're gonna film it and post
He's
it up
starring. Starring on the news.
He's starring on Only in Dade. It's crazy. While swimming off Miami Beach, the bite left an 8-inch laceration below his knee. This is why I don't swim in Miami Beach. Honestly, I don't like being in the water. I was in the Coast Guard for 5 years. I drove the boat. I don't like being in the water. There's just too many things that can get me.
There's a lot of things that live in the water, and they are dangerous.
A
like
lot.
Just to your
Jellyfish.
point. That's this guy.
Man of Wars.
He's lucky he only has an 8-inch laceration and still has his leg.
Seriously. It's crazy.
It's a crazy place to be.
So, how do we avoid this problem?
Don't go in the
freaking
water. Go in the pool.
There's your solution to that problem. Thank you, Sandy. That was an easy solution. All right, a man has been taken to the... wait, sorry. I already read that one, right? A rock star and guitar legend... This is sad.
It
Eddie
is.
Van Halen
Very.
died at age 65 suffering from throat cancer. It sucks, man. I loved Eddie. Eddie Van Halen's... the best of Eddie Van Halen CD was by far my favorite. I mean, I remember that guitar riff in the beginning. It was track 2. Oh, just phenomenal. Just that's rock,
Jam on.
man. That's
Jam
rock.
on, I know. Unbelievable.
Rock.
And he had a
he would
great
make it talk.
career.
He would
Yeah.
make it talk, man. It's just so amazing.
I heard a little interview with him. I can't remember who it was with recently. And he was talking about himself. In the interview, he was saying that his whole life was music.
Yeah.
His family were everybody involved, and his parents were involved in music. So, he got what he wished. Great life he had. I mean, too bad it had to end such a short way.
Well, heaven's going to be
short
amazing
time.
with all the artists up there right now. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Mayor Carlos Jimenez said face masks are no longer required outdoors as long as you're 10 feet away from the other person. I can't even get 10 feet away from somebody in traffic in Miami. Masks are required for athletes and others standing on the sidelines at sporting events. So can somebody explain this to me? You want me to run on with a mask while I'm playing friggin' football in these sports? I had this conversation with a guy. He called me up and said, hey, listen, we want to have like this event for the kids. You know, they're playing sports, but we've had this big problem where they have to have masks on while they're playing. I'm like, what? That's bologna sandwiches, man. Are you kidding me? You know what? I would not. I would say, hey, listen. If the parents say it's okay, let it go.
Yeah, just don't play. If you have to wear a mask, I'm not playing. That's
crazy.
That's my opinion. I don't believe in that.
That's insane. That's insane. Can you imagine running around your block with a mask on? Or you said you walk your dog at a high pace. Put a mask on.
I'm not.
No way. No way. That's more detrimental to your health.
Speaking of Mayor Carlos Jimenez, he was telling everybody you could open the dog parks. We have a beautiful dog park here, West End Park,
right,
just right out here on 157th Avenue. It's a great dog park. You know what? You could go in, you could take your dog in, but this is what you couldn't do. You couldn't take off your mask, and you couldn't let your dog off the leash. I said, that's not called a dog park. That's called a dog walk.
Seriously.
And they did that for months. Now I guess they're letting people maybe take them off again.
Whatever.
But it's ridiculous.
I don't get it. Like one day to the next, all of a sudden
they paid a guy to stand out there and harass you if you. So
for some reason, I feel like it's a political move. To be honest with you,
yeah. What is going on?
I feel like it's
like a stronghold move.
He's doing it.
What?
Again,
Tell
this is
me,
an
be
opinion.
honest.
This
Be
is an
honest.
opinion.
We want to hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm letting you know this is opinion. Please don't take it any which way you want. You know, whatever. I don't care. I think this is my thought process, and in my opinion, it's a political move so that he can get people to be happy with him, so he can get voted in. From what Conflict was telling me was that he got into Senate or something, but all the political campaigns are saying that he's running. Vote for Carlos Jimenez. Like
he is running for right? Congress. Yeah, I believe he's running for representative.
This is crazy. I mean, honestly, look. So, who do we have now for governor or mayor? Right, mayor.
Ron DeSantis is the governor.
DeSantis
and Jimenez.
Mayor. Excuse me. Mayor
Jimenez is the mayor.
Who's running for mayor right now? It's Debbie and somebody else, right? Levine Cava, whatever. Yeah. She's running.
Right. And then there's another guy. Is his name Bovo or something like that?
Yes, Bovo.
Bovo. I think those are the two who are running for mayor right now.
Okay. I thought it was Debbie. Was it? I thought it was not Debbie.
Debbie's running for Debbie Mercado Powell.
Right.
She's in office, running again for the same seat.
Right. That's right. That's right.
House
Isn't this crazy? I mean, look, it's honestly. Miami was so bad, quote unquote, and all of a sudden, from one day to the next, after like 3 weeks, voila!
What happened? Yeah,
we went from like stage 1 to stage 3. What is it? Is it a Drake song? 0 to 100?
And the governor says from Tallahassee that we're cool. The whole state, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. Yeah, so now a person comes in to our place of business, and if they're not wearing a mask, they can say, I don't have to.
Well,
you're right, you don't have to, but would you mind? I have one. I'll donate it to you. Here, I'll give it to you, please. Right.
And people get upset.
They act like they don't feel like they want to do it. So
it's crazy. It's crazy. The thing is that I know that the restaurants have restaurants, shop owners, whatever. They have the right to say yes or no. So
yes, they do.
You know, that respect people. Here again, this boils down to what we talk about on the show all the time. Respect other people's wishes and boundaries. You don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to go back to them.
Respect their opinions.
But respect them while they're in front of them, and that's it.
Yep.
Honestly, if people do that a little bit more, things might change. People.
I think we call that the golden rule, don't we? Do unto others that you would have them do to you.
Isn't
that what we're looking for?
It's different nowadays.
Isn't that what we're all looking for?
People enjoy being masochists, I guess. New Jersey mail carrier is accused of dumping 1,875 pieces of mail, including voting ballots, in dumpsters. How do you feel about that? Did he go postal?
You know, if that's all he did, at least he didn't kill anybody.
You know?
Not yet.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
What's this he was accused of? What does that mean?
You know, you're not supposed to tamper with
he didn't or he
with
didn't
mail.
do it?
So I guess it's a federal offense.
I think so.
Federal offense.
And
1,800 pieces of mail.
what? He just didn't feel like working that day?
I guess.
Who was it, Newman?
He was. He had a fly inside of his truck. He was trying to get it out. Somebody told him.
My God, what a
All right.
guy.
Netflix drops Selena, the series trailer of biographical drama about the beloved singer Selena. Release date is September 4th. So the movie was phenomenal. December. That's what did I say? I said September. Sorry, December 4th. Selena was a great movie done by Jennifer Lopez and several other actors. Great movie. I think that's going to be hard to continue. Very interesting for the family to be wanting, the remembrance of her. It's got to be hard to be dealing with that every day. You know what I mean? It is a drama, but the movie had pretty much, I think, the greatest parts. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Sandy?
I don't know. It's like I just feel like they're making reboots about almost everything
Anything,
at this
yeah.
point. Like they just
Can't they
are
find
running
another
out of
story?
ideas,
Can't they
right?
find another
They're
story?
just
There's
running
probably
out of
somebody else.
ideas.
Yeah, I agree with
How
that.
do you feel?
I think that they could
Sometimes
probably
you just leave it
move
alone.
over to another lane and let's find somebody else to focus on.
Leave it alone.
I love Selena's music. She was great,
Yeah.
when she was around. And I'm sure the family would like to. Maybe they're going to make a little more money off of it. Maybe
I guess
that's
that's
what
what
it's
it
got to
is.
do with.
Who
I mean,
knows?
she's gone.
Who knows? I know the husband had now moved on, but he always visits the grave and he always does a lot of things. I read a lot of stories about it. Wonderful man, but it's sad to hear all the things. It's just really sad. If you guys want to look more into it, Google it. All right. Trending, fun, interactive questions. This is the last little part of the segment. Pass the Mic podcast. Here we go. You have 1 hour to spend $10,000 in one store. Where are you going?
Costco.
Costco. There it is. What's your favorite?
They got what I need.
He's buying a $10,000 worth of pizza Costco. All right. What's your favorite excuse when you're running late?
I don't run late.
Bingo. My man. There it is. I knew that was going to be his answer too.
But
if
I gave
were,
you one today. I said, God, that Kindle traffic is back.
mind you, he is walking distance. He is walking distance.
I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away.
All right. What's your do you consider yourself old-fashioned? We've already said this.
Well, I really don't consider myself to be old-fashioned. But when I think about what's new and what's old, I prefer what's older rather than what's newer in most cases.
the young
Especially
kids
when
call
it
me
comes
an
to
old
like
head.
music and like manners and, do you pull out the chair for the lady to sit down? Do you
Yes.
open her door?
Yes.
That's old school, and I love doing it, and I want her to love me doing it.
It is what it is.
That's a good thing to do,
Yeah.
right? We all should appreciate that.
And the car, on the car, after a little bit, they can open the car door. Honestly.
After all, there's a handle right there.
Yeah, right there.
I got that.
Because I don't know. For some reason, that part never really. I don't know. You go into a nice restaurant or something, yeah, absolutely fine, no problem. But when you're every day going out somewhere, I don't know. It's almost like they're waiting for you, so you need to move along. I guess it's a fast-paced life that we're living.
It is, and sometimes, and mainly that's what we forgot. We forgot to stop and say, "I appreciate you."
Yeah,
That's a way to do it.
all right. I'll give you that one.
Thank you. I'll take
There we
it.
go.
Ding, we're off.
What were you most popular for as a kid?
Well, I come from a big family, had a lot of friends, so that was great. But I had one thing I did when I was a freshman in high school. We had this. Everybody had the same project you had to do every year. In biology, the teacher required us to do an insect collection.
Insect collection.
Insect collection, not just find them and put them in a jar.
This is about to get
Find 'em,
really interesting.
put them in a jar, Get your little display, however you wanted to be creative about it.
Okay.
And you put little pins in them, and you'd identify them. Well, at that time of my at that time of my life, I decided that I didn't really want to work that hard at it. So what I did is I knew a girl who had a great collection from the previous year, and you can use it. So I didn't change anything except I put my name on it, and I turned it in. And of course, it's the same biology teacher. I mean,
right.
This kid's dumb, man. He thinks I can't recognize it. So I turned it in, and so I earned the nickname of Bugs. Because everybody knew about it. Everybody found out I did it. And the biology teacher came to me and said, look, I'm going to give you a D minus for your grade. The only reason I'm not going to fail you is because you got A's on the test. But it's an ethical faux pas on my part. So and to this day, my brothers or friends who run
Bugs.
into me might say, Bugs, how you doing?
That's funny.
That's that's
funny.
a lesson. You know what that lesson is? Watch what you do because it may stick to you.
like a bug.
I never like a bug. So I never thought I would have anything to do with that. It was just a little thing I didn't do.
The word of the week. The word of the week is bug.
Stuck with me the rest of my life.
Poor Pence. He's never gonna let this down.
Man, I tell you.
Oh man, bugs. Well, bugs this week are gonna be interesting. All right, what was the last photo you took?
Of myself. I took a
selfie.
headshot and sent it to you.
All right, a selfie.
A selfie, yeah. And I don't take
that was a
selfies.
funny selfie too. I was like, why didn't he just get his whole team? And Sandy's like, he's old school.
Yeah. I had a couple guys in the background. I hope you saw them. But I didn't have time for that. I just had to say
the tropical smoothie background though.
that was the idea. That was the concept. Yeah.
What's the clumsiest moment that gave you a mini heart attack scare? I'll read it one more time. What's the clumsiest moment that gave you a mini heart attack scare?
Well, I just had one yesterday. I think I showed you the picture of my wife.
The dog.
My neighbor calls and says, your wife's bleeding everywhere, and she's here in front of our house, and she says that the dog bit her. There's blood everywhere from her head. That was one there, you know. And
but that's not a clumsy moment.
It wasn't. Well, it felt pretty clumsy. What?
Yeah.
It may not be the exact thing you're looking for.
Right.
But
it's okay.
But
it's a good story for everybody else.
It just happened. Yeah. and as a matter of
but
fact,
it gave you the mini heart attack.
It gave me the mini heart attack.
Yeah.
Just the scare. You know?
So you had like 2 more avocaladas that day. And a ginger shot.
With a little, with a little extra rum on the side, you know.
All right, if you had to change your name, what would your new name be, and why would you choose that name?
I love this question, and I got a great answer. My first name is not Bradley. It's my first name is Clyde.
What?
My second name is Bradley,
What?
so I go by Brad.
What?
My mother did that.
What just happened?
My oldest,
your email makes so much sense.
Clyde
now.
Shell. Yeah, that's exactly why.
Oh, wait,
So-
your name is not really Clyde. It's Clyde Shell?
No. In my email address, I
Oh,
took
it's your
the
first and last name.
first
Okay.
few letters.
Okay.
So I'm named after my mother's father, Clyde Raymond Williams.
Okay.
And
We're getting all the government names. I love this.
The idea to me was every first day of school or anybody says Clyde Shellen, I go, that's not me, I'm Brad. I didn't identify that. I didn't like it. It's like embarrassing. Because who's Clyde? Do you know anybody named Clyde?
Yeah,
You do?
I do.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Seriously.
I mean, there was a famous basketball player
Yeah.
for the New York Knicks, Walt Frazier. That was his nickname, Clyde the Glide.
Yeah.
But nobody. Did you know anybody in your own personal life you've met with that name,
Yes.
Clyde? You have. So I felt like
And
embarrassed
he's sitting
as a
right
kid.
next to me, too.
Other than me.
Yeah.
So I really didn't appreciate the name. So if I could change, I would have used it my whole life. Now I love it. Now I like it. I usually use it in my Facebook page as Clyde Shellen.
Yeah, but not
it's
here.
Not Brad Shellen. I like it. So I don't. I'm not going to change and have you call me Clyde. I'm still Brad.
Okay.
But the question is, if I could change my name, I would definitely do it. I mean, just
To
in
Brad or
appreciation.
to Clyde?
I would go by Clyde. I wouldn't change the whole
Wait a
name.
second,
I would
your
just
name-
change my moniker, who I go by, who people call me. I would
Okay.
have preferred them.
Okay, because your name
to-
it really is Clyde. So
It really is, and it really
it's a twist
has
to
more
our
meaning.
question.
It has more meaning now because it's after my grandfather, who passed away a long, long time ago. My mother's already, she passed too. So the significance of the
Right.
name bears much more gravity.
So just change it now.
Well, now I'm still Brad, but I like, but I told you I did. I changed it on my Facebook.
You know what it was?
It's
He was
all
doing
answer to
jewelry heist, and that's how he got his money.
Yeah, there you go.
And he used to go by Clyde.
Yeah, there
and
you go.
His name is-
I was the original Clyde the Glide. So to answer the question though,
Is your wife's name Bonnie? You
Only
guys
if-
survive it?
Only if, yeah. So, there it is. That's who I would change it to. I would be Clyde, the original Clyde.
Wow.
Significant.
Bonnie and Clyde now own a tropical smoothie.
You know that movie though, right? Bonnie and Clyde. They
Yeah.
got wasted in a bad way. I wouldn't want to have that happen.
Yeah, but did they?
What a way to go. Yeah.
Mr. Clyde.
The movie looked like it did. Like Sonny Corleone. Did he
Oh,
get it?
man.
Yeah, I think he did.
Look
I
at
think
that.
he did.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pass the Mic podcast. I certainly did, knowing that I'm speaking to a new person here.
I certainly did.
Brad, I want to thank you so much for coming in. Now I don't even know what to call him. Brad, Clyde, whatever the case may be. I
I'll
don't
answer
know.
to both.
We're gonna stick
either.
with Brad, all right?
Just don't call me Bugs. I
Brad,
don't like
Brad. I'm not gonna do it in the store.
I
but
earned
maybe-
that one, though.
But
I
maybe
earned that
outside
one.
of the store.
Yeah,
'Cause if I
outside.
walk
Yeah,
in,
that's
I go
cool.
Bugs. Somebody's gonna be like, ah! Another 500
I
citation.
earned that nickname. I earned it,
There you go. All right. So here we go. Pass the Mic podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Eddie G. And of course, behind the scenes, making all the magic happen is, of course, our little miss director, Sandy. And our special guest today, Brad. What an amazing experience. If you guys are in the area of 137th and 120th, make sure you stop by Tropical
London
Smoothie
Square. There
at
we are.
London Square. The number to call to place your order, 305-251-7570. If you call beforehand, give them about 10 to 15 minutes before you get there, and you call, and it will
It'll
be ready.
waiting for you.
It'll
We
be
promise.
waiting for you, ready to go, with a smile from your man Brad, and of course his entire team. What an amazing group that they have there. Love it. We love
Thank you.
supporting it here.
Thank
As you
you for
guys
saying
notice,
that.
on
Very
every
nice.
single one of our shows, we have our tropical smoothie. And if you don't see it on our shows because we already drank it, we now have some flatbreads to get to. You can get your food, you can get your smoothies, and enjoy it there. And of course, if you stop in and you see Brad for the first time, just make sure you sit by, say, "Hey, what's up? I heard you on Pass the Mic podcast. Thank you for being one of the crazies." And I'm sure Brad will be happy to take care of you. Until the next episode, each and every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Pass the Mic podcast. I'm Eddie G. We are out.
Thanks, Eddie.
Us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at PTMP Live, or visit us at ptmplive.com. Be sure to hit subscribe and turn on your live notifications for